Cranbourne to win by 6 goals.
6 goals, all right. So you are going back on your straight sets call from last week. But
well, I'm in both corners, so I can turn and say, well, I predicted this.
I picked this, yes. So as players take up their positions.
You'd think a Casey Radio volunteer of 25 years would get his Peter Griffin-like physique out of the way. Wouldn't you? Like, come on.
That's better if you had heard that.
That'd be good.
So much better. Hey, Griffo!
We're underway here for the first semi-final on KC Radio 97.7 FM. Now I've got too many windows in front of me, boys, as Valor breaks through the centre of Tumac Reserve. He sweeps the hand pass towards centre half forward. Was that a push in the back? The umpire says no. Stuart Merrick are in my way, and the ball's going to be thrown up just inside forward 50. You might be listening to this on KC Radio or following it live stream. It might be available through the Sefnal website, but the ball's inside forward 50 there for Cranbourne. Going through was Ryan Davey. He sweeps the hand pass out the back, looking for Kyle Nunn. He couldn't find any space, so retreats towards Valor. That ball just hits Valor in the ankles and he's coughed it up. Getting held onto there off the play was Ryan Davey. No, the free kick's gone the way of Beaconsfield. So it was Damien Johnson with the free kick. Goes out towards centre wing. Riley Verby was there but couldn't get a touch on the play. Goes out of bounds.
Yeah, plenty of congestion early on, as we'd expect from such a high final.
So the ball's going to be thrown in. When beaten for position there by Welsh. Tap down. Maruzic goes through there for Cranbourne. He was tackled by Dwyer. It's been coughed up. Going through there was Damien Johnson. Gets bumped as he's kicked it but did get enough purchase on it. There's been a free kick paid.
Touchwood in the back.
Yes,
more body work.
There was a free kick going the way of Bunteen against Tyler Stoko. So Bunteen goes back there towards Bass. Bass retreats inside defensive 50. There's people left, right and centre here, but it's Cranbourne with the ball. Right hand back pocket with Wapshot. He goes short looking for Maruzic. Geez, that was pinpoint. Hit him right on the chest. He marked it in amongst the Eagles there from Beaconsfield. So Maruzic goes out towards Fella, but reading it best and taking a nice intercept mark was Alir. He goes back by hand towards Tyler Stoko, collects the ball on the bounce. Running past to receive the hand pass was Daniel Johnston. He goes back to go forward with a long kick there by Riley Welsh. Up to the half forward flank, no clear winner there. The ball spills out at the bottom of the pack there for Cranbourne. Was that Bauer going in? He may have been, it's not Bauer, it's actually Bunteen going in. I thought he was tackled high, but no free kick paid. So the ball's going to be thrown up on the half forward flank for Beaconsfield, who are attacking to the western port end. When taps the ball down, Maruzic couldn't collect it. Welsh's second effort was good. Gets the hand pass out towards Langley. Drops the football. Bass, was he held without it? No. The ball spelt to Tyler Stoko, but intercepting it there was Brandon Osborne, who's gone to Ryan Davey. Long penetrating kick to a centre half forward, but reading it best there and taking a courageous mark was Corey Walker from Beaconsfield. So Walker, he goes short to centre wing where he finds Welsh. He's got the runners in Johnson just in front of him, but he decides to go along himself. He'll be kicking this ball up towards centre half forward. Who's there for Beaconsfield? It's Taylor Joyce. He gets bumped out of it. Doing well was Wapshot, but he's been tackled. His hand pass was intercepted there by Damien Johnson. It goes out to Alir, who comes back onto his right boot, inside pass, and taking a nice mark there was Trent Stoko. So Beaconsfield holding on to the play at the moment. Stoko goes short and finds Bowd, who plays on. Long penetrating kick up to centre half forward. Langley goes under the football. It's loose. Running onto it there and breaking the tackle was Devon Smith. Coming through, receiving the hand pass was Bartley Morris. He's kicked the first goal of the first semi-final. Beaconsfield lead 1 straight 6. Cranbourne yet to score, and we have gone 4.5 minutes here on 97.7 FM.
That's a good goal by Beaconsfield there. They got it out and the Alir picked up the loose ball, went back inside, and then there was another another kick, chip kick into the middle of the ground, opened up the whole field, and then they transitioned out and ended up with Verby and Smith, and they teamed together to get a nice goal.
Yeah, Jake Bowd there in the centre there, who switched the play there. He just seemed like he had a bit of time on his side, had a look and assessed the options, and switched the ball to the other side of the field, which opened him up, and obviously saw the goal come.
And just looking down the forward line, Beaconsfield's Joyce and Wapshot having a nice little tussle.
So when taps it down, there was a hold off the play. It's gone the way of Damien Johnston, who's won the free kick on the cricket pitch. He goes short, trying to find his brother there, Daniel. Mark dropped, but he would have received a free kick for a push in the back from Bertrand. So Daniel Johnston plays on, goes into the pocket and finds Bailey Morris, who's obviously playing deep and has taken a nice mark after kicking the first goal of the game. He moves the ball quickly inside forward 50. Dropping the mark there was Langley. Doing the roving was Wapshot for Cranbourne. He brings the ball out to the outer side. We're taking a sliding mark there was Cavlot. So Dylan Cavlot, best and fairest winner at the club, just been corralled for the moment. He's been called to play on, so he goes short. And coming up to take the mark there was Hugo. Is that 50?
No, just looking down the other end, and Langley's just given Wapshot. I don't know who's taking the angry calls more, Wapshot or Langley.
Well, back with the play, but Hugo goes long up towards centre half forward. It's a loose football. Holt receives the hand pass. He can run into an open goal, and Holt's kicked Cranbourne's first goal of this first semi-final. One straight goal apiece. We have gone 6.5 minutes here on KC Radio 97.7 FM.
And just so still watching it down here at Beaconsfield forward line, centre half forward, all the players have congregated. Scotty Myers gone up there. Langley's still getting into Osborne now as well, so they're having a bit of a push and shove down here. It looks like Wapshot's actually coming off the ground, whether he's been told to settle down, I'm not sure. So a bit of interesting byplay up in Beaconsfield's line, but yes, Holt getting Cranbourne's first, so we've gone to a 1-1 game.
You're easily distracted, Jared Healy. We're one straight apiece.
Down the other end.
Doesn't take much for you to get excited on a Sunday. Father's Day, first semi-final action here of the Sefnal. Ball goes up, Wayne wins the tap down, but receiving a free kick in the clearance there was Valor. Going high was Damien Johnston. So two former VFL players there clashing in the middle. Vella plays on, brings it out towards centre wing. It's a long kick, bouncing football there. Going onto it for Cranbourne was Nunn. Squaring pass up towards centre half forward. No mark was taken. Strong tackle applied there by Vella. Good work here by Cranbourne. Marks gets a hand pass. Could be another goal here to Holt from point blank range. Holt's kick 2, and the Eagles, Cranbourne take the lead. They go to 2 straight 12, leading Beaconsfield 1 straight 6. Holt's kick 2, and Cranbourne lead by 6 points.
Yeah, Bromley had the ball here just outside centre wing. Probably should have taken it out, tried to keep it and slapped it back in, and obviously eventuated in the goal for Cranbourne there. Obviously Mark Holt getting a bit of space early, Jared.
Yeah, certainly is. He's actually staying closer to home too, where the Beaconsfield defenders are being drawn to the ball. They're all sort of following the ball, and Cranbourne are maintaining their structures now. I don't know.
Tough day for Matt Humphrey.
Oh, it certainly is. 2 goals, but sort of 2 Freddie Cooks by Matt Humphrey going to the ball. Holt staying back in his traditional full forward position.
So Thal in the ruck against Welsh. No clear winner there. Cranbourne have worked it out there through that was Burr, but they couldn't get a real clear kick away on towards centre wing. There are a chance here in open space. Receiving the hand pass there was Bunteen. He goes into the half forward line and taking a nice mark there. Really under no pressure at all was Nathan Gardner. He led early, and that was a nice pass just to give him ample opportunity to take the mark. He was quiet last week. Cranbourne have got the momentum in this game early, looking for their 3rd straight goal and to extend their margin to 12 points. The distance won't test Gardner, but the accuracy might. He'll be kicking this from 45 on a 45-degree angle, and this will get the Cranbourne supporters up and about early in this sudden death final.
And it's good for Gardner too, because he's just come onto the ground.
In he comes. Gardner's gone long from 45. That looks good off the boot, and it's sweet. Gardner's kicked his first. Cranbourne's 3rd, and they've extended their margin out to 12 points. Cranbourne 3 straight 18, leading Beaconsfield 1 goal, 6 points. We have gone just about 8 minutes into this first quarter.
And that's, I suppose, Beaconsfield Achilles heel. They handle the ball a lot and they flip it around by hand, and their chances of making a mistake against a quality opposition are higher, and it's happened to them 3 times now. They just flicked it around too much, and Cranbourne have made them pay.
Yeah, just in a defensive positioning in Beaconsfield back half there. I wonder if it's worth sort of swapping Humphrey with Walker, because Walker's on Roscoe at the moment and Humphrey's on Holt, and Holt seems to be getting the better of him.
Well, Thal's now moved in the ruck there against Welsh. Cranbourne are going to get the clearance. Getting the kick forward there under some pressure was Barker. Gets the ball up towards the half-forward flank where we see a foot race. Cavlot wins, but then his hand pass puts his teammate under some pressure. Can they work it out here, Cranbourne? No, it's Beaconsfield with the numbers. Going through with Daniel Johnson, who finds Bowd on the outside. Bowd kicks the ball up to the half-forward flank. Langley slides in. Was he pushed in the back? No. And the ball goes off hands and out of bounds. On the outer side, 70 metres around from Beaconsfield's attacking end, just forward of centre wing. Looks like Langley will be playing that lead-up option again for Beaconsfield this afternoon. So Thal and Welsh. No, Thal wins the tap down. Ryan Davey gets a clearance. Connecting hand pass there sets Cranbourne alight as they get the kick up towards the centre square, and taking a nice mark there was Nunn, who's looking to move the ball quickly out towards Holt, but the kick favoured his opponent there in Matthew Homfray. Gets the hand pass to Robert McMillan. His kick forward sets his teammate a task. Wapshot was there. Coming through for Beaconsfield was Brad Homfray. They get the kick forward there under some pressure was young Sean Dwyer. His kick's lucky to stay in the field of play. The ball's going to be thrown in 30 metres out from Beaconsfield's attacking end. There's a swirling breeze here at 2-mark reserve.
And we're going to see Meyer in the ruck for the first time for Beaconsfield.
Yes, and no clear winner there. The ball spills out towards Morris, who needed to be clean, but he wasn't. And then he's gone a little bit high on Ryan Davey, but the umpire was blindsided. And we're going to see a throw up. Bailey Morris just started well today, boys.
Yeah, he certainly has, and Cranbourne, after they've settled, have had the better of Beaconsfield.
Meyer, big slap forward there, ricocheted out towards Maruzic. He takes the pack with him. They fall over. Indiscriminate play by Johnston was cut off nicely there by Jared Barker, who found some outside space up towards centre wing. Collision of players there, Bowden and Cavlot. Cavlot's picked up a free kick, must have been for a chop of the hands. Morris lopes out towards centre wing, which will become an option. He takes the mark, hand pass to Barker, makes him stand and wait. Big tackle there by Langley, who'll be rewarded for holding the football.
Yeah, he's given a bit of a shove to him on the ground as well, so Langley's taken his angry pills as well.
Goes to the half-forward flank, Meyer on a long lead, bouncing football, coming up to meet him there was Allison. Meyer's dropped it, no free kick paid. It gets socket inside forward 50, and a strong tackle applied there by Brandon Osborne. Was that on Tyler Stoko? One of the small forwards there for Beaconsfield, and it wasn't Stoko. It was young Jack Doherty, who's recovered from his ankle injury from last week. So the ball gets thrown up. Beaconsfield have the numbers. Doherty, kick around, the body goes long. Taylor Joyce is there. Big punch coming from Corey Allison. Waiting for it was Bunteen. Dangerous hand pass to Bertrand. Has to stand and wait. He's wrapped up in a tackle by Taylor Joyce, and Bertrand's been penalised for holding the football. I'm not too sure what prior opportunity he actually had. And Beaconsfield now will line up for their second shot on goal, 15 metres out, nearly directly in front. Was that hot on Bertrand?
Well, it was hot. It was a good, strong tackle, and you don't usually see those paid in the forward line. Very rarely. It's usually play on or ball up. So
he's arguing his case on the mark, but it won't
change the decision, will it?
Affect Taylor Joyce, one of the better players in the elimination final last weekend. Can he get Beaconsfield back to within the goal? He'll be kicking this from only 20 metres out on a 45-degree angle. Slow approach kick. As he pushed it through, he's got it. Taylor Joyce has kicked his first and Beaconsfield second, as the Beaconsfield players come from everywhere to celebrate. That was a goal against the momentum of play. And
there goes Langley.
We've gone 13 minutes in this first term. Beaconsfield 2 straight 12, trailing Beaconsfield 3 straight 18. Yes, Jerry?
Yeah, I think Langley's decided to have a go at Bass now, so he's really up and about. He hasn't had a big influence on the game, and such as in contest-wise and possessions-wise, but he's certainly letting the Cranbourne backline know he's around. But straight kicking today too.
Yeah,
it is.
No behind so far.
5 scoring shots, 5 goals. Cranbourne lead by 6 points. Ball gets thrown up, comes back down. Strong tackle applied there by Valla and also Ryan Davey on Daniel Johnston, and the ball's going to be thrown up just outside the centre circle. Welsh and Thal. Welsh goes with a big slap down. Johnson was there, couldn't get a clear disposal away. Ryan Davey, always strong at the contest, puts his head over the football. We're going to see another throw up. So 6 points the margin. We have gone close to 15 minutes of play in this first quarter. Wen doing the ruck work now, taps it down. Ball bobbles around for a little bit. Wen applies a strong tackle on Tyler Stoko, but the umpire's picked out a free kick, which I wasn't really sure was there, but Tyler Stoko will take it. Entry inside forward 50. Meyer runs under the football. Bouncing football there for Langley. Misses his intended target, which was a Lear. The ball spills to Damien Johnson. Goes back to Meyer. Tries to come back onto his right side. He was tackled. Is that holding the football? No. Meyer goes to Riley Verby. He goes to Tyler Stoko. Slick hand pass out to Welsh. The big man slips over. Wen goes through. Tries to get open some space. Gets a hand pass out towards Hugo. Has to go back. He's getting pressured out of it now. Hugo. He's got 3 to beat. Was he being held on to? No. In comes Bertrand. Provides the support. Sockers the ball towards the boundary line, where Marks is happy to see the ball over.
Big pressure football there, wasn't it? Just tackling from both sides, and no one could get a clear break from probably centre half forward right across here onto the wing.
Nobody wanted to make a mistake as the ball gets thrown in right in front of 97.7 as Welsh. Uses his body well, taps it down to Riley Verby. He was dragged down there by Davey, and the umpire decides he'll throw it up.
Well, so far, is this going to be one of these games where they've got ball up after ball up after ball up?
Davey comes off. Maruzic on there for Cranbourne. Burby's gone to Maruzic. The ball gets thrown up. Welsh takes the front position, goes for a hammer fist, but only goes as far as Big Hugo.
Ooh,
but then gets penalised for holding the football. That was incorrect disposal, if anything. That was hot. Daniel Johnson takes the free kick, goes up to centre half forward for Beaconsfield. Tackled of that, there was Morris. Ball spills to Ellison. Shows some strength. Ellison did well to get the ball to Cavlot. Now they've got Bass. He's running backwards to go forwards. Being corralled there by Alier. Got the hand pass to Cavlot. Bouncing football. Cavlot did well. Got the hand pass to Morris. Now Bertrand. He hits the ground running. Spearing pass towards Marks in the centre circle. Marks plays on. He goes towards Vella. Bouncing football for Vella. Will he collect now? He does. He comes back onto his left side, Vella. It's a long kick. Where's Holt? He gonna get there? No, he can't. Offhands it out of bounds. In the forward pocket. I'm trying to see through people. I don't know why we've got people on the balcony for a final, but they're everywhere. The Eagles are flocking in numbers to support their team as there was a quick clearance, kick inside forward 50, and taking a nice mark there was Thomas Marks, and he'll line up for a shot on goal from 40 metres out on a slight angle. But Thomas Marks has not given his teammates anything. He's walked with his back to the play, and he'll line up, taking the game on to kick Cranbourne's fourth goal.
He's certainly taking his time, isn't he? He backs himself. Is he going to kick this?
Well, he wants to now, Jared. He's taking a long time. So Marks from 40 runs in, has a shot on goal, and look at that confident kick, but no, fades to the left and through for a behind. So that's the first blemish. Cranbourne lead by 7 points. We have gone 16 and a half minutes of this first term. Jake Bowd to bring it in for Beaconsfield. Kicks it to himself. Goes towards the outer side. Long penetrating kick. Farrell has 2 to beat. Takes a front position. Didn't mark it. Big punch into the pocket. Cavlot's there. But happy to see the ball over the boundary line in front of Matt Homfray. And the ball's going to be thrown in. 40 metres around from Cranbourne's attacking end. They are kicking towards the highway end. They kick 3 consecutive goals. And they lead by 7 points.
He's probably gained about 25 metres with that big punch.
So throw in. Front and square there was Thal. Trying to sock it off the ground though was Cavlot. Close to the boundary line. Roscoe's done very well. I think it was Roscoe who's kept that ball in the field of play and has gone to a short pass and found Big Pipes Gardner. And the man with the big arms has taken a nice mark 25 metres out on a 45-degree angle, and he'll go back and kick Cranbourne's fourth goal of the afternoon.
That pass probably travelled about 10.01 metres.
The umpires are closer than us, Jared.
They certainly are. They can't.
We have to trust their decision. So Gardner, he kicked one from further out, similar angle. This one he could put onto the highway if he wants from only 25 metres out. Gardner shouldn't miss, and he has. Oh, that could be a let-off there for Beaconsfield. That's 2 behinds in a row to Cranbourne, and they extend their margin to 8 points.
Yeah, it's been an interesting game there from Cranbourne. This is the second time they've actually tried to keep the ball in, not letting it run over the boundary. We saw it earlier, and now we've seen it again there with Roscoe. There's a real intensity in this game early on.
I think that's why Thao went the big punch. He played the percentages instead of going for the mark to get it closer to their goals again and put that pressure on Beaconsfield defence.
Well, there's some pressure here on Bromley. There's a big pack of players at centre half back, but Bromley decides to go into the pocket where he finds Trent Stoko. Now Stoko's going to go back across goal, where he finds Bromley. The switch is happening now as Corey Walker takes the mark in space. He can bounce. He'll run away. The ball doesn't come back. Havlot's closing. He has to get his kick away now. It's a high up and under pass. Who's brave? Taking the front position there was Maruzic. No free kick paid. Old Troy Thale puts his body in. Great say contest. And no, the umpires paid a free kick for a high tackle there on Morris. Troy Thale was very slow to his feet. Morris finds Alier on centre wing for Beaconsfield. Alier sees the mullet all by himself there on the half forward flank. Taylor Joyce takes the mark. Off one step, goes into the pocket, looking for Meyer. He's got 2 to beat. Morris flies in from the side, but keeping his feet was Meyer. Can he do his own roving? No, getting pressured out of it there by Brandon Osborne. Did a little dinky kick nearly cost them a goal, but Cranbourne's defence will work it out here. Broadcast side of the ground when Vella will take the mark. Well, they still strong there, didn't they, Cranbourne? Yep, none will come up and take the mark on the half-back flank, but, geez, they nearly conceded there, Cranbourne, but Meyer couldn't get an effective disposal away in the end. So Nunn has the free kick on the half-back flank. Goes long for Holt, who crashes the pack. Oh, he's taking a mark. Will that be paid? Yes, Bowd had front position, but you wouldn't argue with Holt when he comes crashing through like that. It's on centre wing. Holt bouncing football up towards Gardner. Close to the boundary line, I can't see. I've got people in front of me. It's a squaring pass towards Roscoe. He's got 2 to beat. Tough football to win. Bromley goes through for Beaconsfield. He's in 2 minds. Did he run down by Cavwhite? Did he take it over the goal line? No. Got the hand pass to Walker. Beaconsfield are under immense pressure at the moment. Walker's kicked to a 2-on-1 contest. Nunn's done well. Back by hand towards Hugo, but the Kermit's got involved and has paid a free kick. It's gone the way of Cranbourne. Looks like it might be Dylan Bass on the outer side. Now Bass can kick a ball, boys.
That was for a hold. He's paid that one for.
Well, Bass has decided not to. He's got a little chip kick bouncing football towards Davey, which has been cut off. The umpire has decided to throw the ball up as the Beaconsfield player there. I think it may have been Dwyer. Geez, he thought he won the lotto when that ball come trickling towards him. Thales looks like he's done his shoulder or maybe possibly broken his arm as he's coming towards the bench very slowly in front of us, which will be a big loss for Cranbourne, you would think, with their star centre-half forward coming towards the bench in the hands of trainers.
Got a lot of work in for Ren now for the day, isn't it?
8 points the margin, I agree with you, Jared. 8 points in favour of Cranbourne. Welsh floats over the top, gets the tap down, getting tackled off the football with Devon Smith. Umpire says play on. Bass takes the advantage. Bass has a shot on goal, but it's gone through the wrong side of the post, I think, and through for a behind. That's their 3rd point in the quarter. They're just moving the margin slowly forward. They lead by 9 points. Bowd will kick it to himself and bring it broadcast side. No, tries to take on Roscoe, puts himself under pressure, finds Bromley by hand. He brings it out now looking for Welsh. The kick doesn't favour him. Up they go. Big punch there coming from Bertrand. Ali's just dropped the football. No free kick paid. Tolostoko drops the football in a tackle. The umpire decides to finally pay a free kick, and taking the free kick here will be Tom Marks. Geez, took the umpires 2 times to get that right. But Marks, forward of centre wing, goes long. Roscoe's going to be the option. 1-on-1 with Bowd. Bowd has the front position, has earned himself a free kick.
Yeah, I think it was in the back there.
In the back, too high, held on to. It's going all the way of Jake Bowd as the speeds the half-back flanker, plays on. Goes out towards Devon Smith, who marks in front of Maruzic for Beaconsfield. So Devon Smith stops, props, goes short, sliding in and taking a good mark there was Trent Stoko. Goes back to Bowd. The smooth-moving Eagle kicks the ball up towards centre wing, and that's a nice mark. Good work there by Taylor Joyce, moving a long way from the goal square. Joyce, usually good by foot, goes long. Who's the option? Or Dodsworth decides not to even go to allow Bertrand just to take the easy mark. Bertrand's kick out. It's going to make it hard here for Bauer. Gets it on the bounce, but usually using his silky skills, gets the ball up towards centre wing. Taking his eyes off it there was Maruzic. And taking the free kick for impede was a Taylor Joyce. Squaring pass into the centre of the ground where Trent Stoko takes the mark, plays on. He goes long, coming up to meet the football there was Meyer. Couldn't complete the mark. Ball spills to Bertrand. Another clearing run up towards the half forward flank. Holt crashes into Humphrey to get some space but couldn't take the mark. Stoko's just gone through and cleaned up Holt. Holt's on the ground. Bromley to Trent Stoko, goes short to centre wing, and taking the mark there was Alir. It seemed to be a cheap shot there by Trent Stoko.
Yeah, Holt's still on the ground there. He looks like he's in a bit of trouble.
So Alir kicks it from centre wing. Long kick, and Wen did well just to take the positioning away from Taylor Joyce. And taking the mark was Bunteen, but the umpire says no. Wen earned himself the free kick. So we'll go back towards Holt, who's come back on. He's back on his feet.
He's all right now. He's a bit groggy, but he's getting to his feet.
What did they say last week, Cranbourne? Beware the circling shark. Well, if you're a Trent Stoko, there's blood in the water with your name on it, son. Holt's looking for you as we speak. Back with the play, whap shot. Goes back inside defensive 50 where he finds Allison, who's got Bass further afield. Oh, he's a kick though, makes him work for it. Bouncing football now. Bass goes on to him, goes short to Morris, who's going to be a long option. It's going to be, I thought he was going to go towards Hugo, but sets it that his teammates are tasked. It's going to be turned over. Marusic couldn't get back fast enough. Bowd cleans up for Beaconsfield. He goes long, but once again, Dodsworth just happy to let that mark go. And Bass has done well on the half-back flank for Cranbourne, but his kick, oh, that was a disappointing turnover. Looking for Burr, and going with the one hand and taking a relieving mark there was Riley Verby.
Yeah, kicks it into that triangle there and was always going to lose out in that.
Goes short, Meyer takes the mark, plays on. He goes long from 55 off the side of the boot, and Dodsworth once again going tinky hand out, hoping not to touch it. And it goes out of bounds on the full. In the left-hand side back pocket, Allison will take the free kick. We have gone 22 minutes of this first term on KC Radio 97.7 FM. Cranbourne leading by 9 points. So Corey Allison, Which way will he go? Pretty stagnant. Wen's on the outer side, which will be the option you would think. Maruzik's there as well. It's a long kick. Wen needs to fly. Flying over the top though and taking a nice mark with Jake Bowd. Look at Aliir. Aliir's all by himself, 30 metres from goal. Bowd's got the kick to get there. He decides to go into the pocket, looking for Dodsworth, and the kick doesn't get there at all. And taking a nice mark there for Cranbourne is, we'll get that confirmed, but the Eagles, Cranbourne kick it out towards the outer side, where Bowd's taken another mark. This time to go into a squaring pass, where Bromley's all by himself at centre half forward. Bromley can go across the ground to Stoko, or he can go long further afield. He decides to go long. Myers there, also Langley, punch away from Bertrand, loose football. Running onto it though was Morrish. He gets tackled and slow without the football. It should have been dropping. Is it going to be paid? Yes, it is. Nice tackle there by Bauer, and it's going to be turned over. So Bauer goes across the ground towards Maruzic. They're looking for a runner. Maruzic will go long to Gardner now. The spearing pass was intended to go to Pipes, but cutting it off was Bowd. So Bowd, take 3, goes long towards Langley. Acrobatic attempt there to take the mark. Couldn't do so. It's been turned over. Plenty of runs still here from Bass. Goes to Maruzic by hand. Maruzic decides to kick long to centre half forward, hoping to find Marks. Couldn't quite get onto the mark. Aliir's there. Look at the numbers for Beaconsfield. Verby, blind hand pass to Dodsworth, who breaks free on centre wing. Dodsworth goes long looking for Morris, who takes the mark in front of Bertrand. He just had his kidneys punched. He's feeling that one for sure. Bailey Morris goes to the squaring pass to centre half forward, where Meyer floats over the top and takes a mark. Morris is down to one knee after that kidney shot. Oh, Meyer, quick hand pass there to Riley Verby, who looked up, dropped the football. Davey to Nunn, bouncing football now for Burr. Burr goes long the centre half forward. Gardner's going to let the ball stop. Props, can he collect it now? Big Pipes needs to get his hands down. He couldn't break free from the tackle. The ball spills to Nunn, who comes back onto his right side. Got players inside forward 50. One of them's Holt. He's pushed off Humphrey and taken a big mark on his big chest.
Geez, he looked like he was out of position there, Holt, but he again, he reads it so well in the air, doesn't he? He came up trumps. A little nudge to Humphrey just with the body, and worked him under the ball beautifully, and he's taken a nice mark.
Yeah, it's almost like a tale of two tapes. Mark Holt on this end and Scotty Myers on that end, both being that beacon of light that players can go to and kick to.
25 minutes gone of this first term. Holt's kick 2. Can he make it 3 from 35 metres out? The whistle's gone. The ball's gone straight through, so it doesn't matter. Holt's kicked his 3rd and Cranbourne's 4th. They go to 4. They've got it as 4-2. We've got it as 4-3-27, leading Beaconsfield 2 straight 12 on KC Radio 97.7 FM. This is the first semi-final.
You just saw with Scotty Myers kick probably on the centre square at centre half forward. He looked down forward and all he could see was whap shot and Wen for Cranbourne down there. So he probably had no option to give it to Verby running past for that running goal. He couldn't kick long and turned the ball over in the end with a bad handball and Cranbourne took it away.
15 minutes between goals for Cranbourne as Verby tries to tap the ball to himself to get the clearance. Couldn't do so. Big clash of bodies there. Strong tackle applied. Looks like it may have been Corey Allison applying a tackle there on the young Beaconsfield player in Doherty. The ball gets thrown up. Welsh floats over the top, brings the ball to ground. Strong tackle applied there by Damien Johnston. And the ball's going to be thrown up. That's centre half forward for Beaconsfield, who have done plenty of attacking in this quarter but haven't been able to capitalise. Welsh swings around, tries to tap it down. No clear winner in the contest. Big pack of players once again. And we're going to see the ball thrown up at centre half forward for Beaconsfield.
And you see Corey Ellison now in the ruck for Cranbourne with Thale going off with a suspected broken arm and Wen having a rest.
Welsh just uses his body there against Ellison, tapped it down, but Davey couldn't get a clear disposal away. Coming up with the football there was Tyler Stoko. So the ball gets thrown up again. Welsh uses some strength. Big slap forward. Dodsworth read it best. Got the hand pass at Devon Smith. Kicked as he was tackled. Gets the ball inside forward 50. Collecting it nicely on the bounce there was Morris. He could kick this from here, but he decides to go into the pocket. There's nobody there for Beaconsfield. Reading it best and taking a nice mark on his chest was Jordan Bertrand from Cranbourne. He goes across the face of goal where Bunteen will take the mark. He can go further along the line towards Morris. Decides to go with the shorter option where he finds a whap shot. The former Devon Meadows player has really found his spot in that Cranbourne defence. This whap shot goes long towards Davey, but the kick lacks some penetration. Davey crashes the pack. He's got 3 to beat, going through Tyler Stoko. The ball spills to Roscoe. Was he tackled high there by Damien Johnson? The umpire says no. And over the top for Beaconsfield was Damien Johnson. At the bottom of the pack was Roscoe, and we'll see the ball thrown up on the half-forward flank for Beaconsfield. Allison in the ruck, taps the ball down. Verby going at it there, and holding on to his Cranbourne opponent really in Barker. Bit of a push and a shove. How do you do? Yeah, I saw you at Empire last night. Yeah, I saw you too. The ball's about to be thrown in on the half-forward flank here for Beaconsfield.
So we got two young ruckmen going at each other in the first semi-final. It'll be an interesting contest.
Welsh takes the front position, taps it down. There's a free kick off the play going the way of Beaconsfield as Barker was about to break free there for Cranbourne. So on the half-forward flank, knowing how far Welsh can kick the football, he could go long inside forward 50, and that's the way he's going to go. Ball favours Langley. Langley takes the front position. Big punch there by Brandon Osborne. Getting the loose football was Tyler Stoko. He was tackled strongly by Bertrand.
He's probably lucky there because the umpire was on the blind side, the controlling umpire. Didn't see the arm go across his neck, and Damien Johnson was appealing to the other umpire.
Well, Wen comes straight on and straight into the contest. Allison gets a breather. Wen, big swipe down. Bunteen couldn't get any space. The ball spills to Wen. Wen goes to Davey, ducks under a tackle. Hand pass to Barker. Barker to Bertrand. But as you can hear, that is the siren. And so the first quarter of the first semi-final has been played, and it is Cranbourne. They've got the scoreboard wrong. It's 4-3-27. Not 4-2-26, but 4-3-27 Cranbourne leading Beaconsfield 2 straight 12 in a highly entertaining first quarter here on KC Radio 97.7 FM.
Yeah, it certainly was. You saw Beaconsfield come out of the blocks early, kick the first goal, then Cranbourne got one straight back to Holt, and another one back to Holt, and a third one virtually straight away, and then Beaconsfield were able to get another one back. So it was 2-3 for the first probably 5 minutes, and then it was a real arm wrestle going in to end the football, and again Cranbourne scored the next goal, but it took another 15 minutes after it. So it's been a great entertaining game, bit of push and shove by both sides, but a big injury concern to Cranbourne with Troy Thale getting injured, and that's Wen's backup. We saw Wen, every time Beaconsfield got the ball going forward, he was running down to get in front of Meyer so they could double team Meyer. So he's got a lot of work to do now, the big fella, and they've thrown, to give him a rest, they've thrown young Ellison into the ruck, Corey Ellison.
Here on KC Radio, Roscoe to Barker, sweeping hand pass from Barker finds Wen. He brings the ball up towards the half-forward flank and sliding in, taking a nice mark there was Burr. Squaring past, Vella has to be brave. Collision of bodies there. That was also Dwyer. The ball spills to Alier. He goes through to Ryan Bromley, brings it out broadcast side to Walker. Usually pinpoint, that kick makes it hard for Verby, collects it on the bounce, but Bertrand collects him, and the ball's going to be thrown up on centre wing. If you're just tuning in, it is Cranbourne by 15 points. Just the start of the second term on KC Radio. Hopefully you're enjoying the live feed wherever it is. We'll try and find it at halftime and put it on our KC Radio Sport Facebook group. And getting penalised for holding the football there with Tyler Stoko. Strong tackle applied by Cranbourne's Bunteen. He wrapped him up and he couldn't get it out. So Bunteen comes broadcast side where Burr has been highly active to start this second term. Burr has it just defensive side of centre wing. He goes long up to centre half forward. Taking the front position there was Bowd, who had 10 first quarter possessions, but he's come up a little bit short. And just hobbling back to his position now, Jake Bowd. Along with Corey Walker, they make a dynamic half-forward flank combination for the Eagles. So Bowd goes high and long. Taylor Joyce is there. Flying in from the side was Wapshot. Ball spills free out towards Bertrand. Taps it to himself to try and provide some space close to the boundary line there. The ball will be thrown up just out of forward 50 for Beaconsfield as they attack towards the highway end.
Just a text from Liz from Helen.
Lovely Liz.
Club. She's saying hello to all of us, wishing me a happy Father's Day, and she loves Lockie's voice. And hopes we're all going well. She's loving the call.
We'll get down to Endeavour Hills Cricket Club during the summer, Liz. We'll be more than happy to sign your book. Hand pass comes out there towards Riley Verby. Sliding in over the top was Bertrand. I'm being sincere with that. She loves her cricket, Liz.
Does she really?
Yep. So hopefully she gets down to Endeavour Hills for there to have a president's lunch on a Saturday afternoon.
We might. We can definitely get some. We can definitely
some
sign
roast
some
beef rolls.
We can get something signed for
Ball
her.
gets thrown in. Wen tries to tap the ball down, couldn't get it out. Second effort was good, but the hand pass there towards Barker, who just more of a slap sort of kick forward, getting some much important meterage and out of bounds on the half-back flank broadcast side of the ground. 15 points the margin in favour of Cranbourne. I feel like I'm just pushing you out. Maybe we should change positions.
Do you want to?
I think we might have to. Ball gets thrown in. Wen uses his strength to his advantage, taps it down. Tyler Stoko and Dwyer were fighting over it there for Beaconsfield. Neither player could get a clear possession away. Marusic applying a tackle, and we're going to see the ball now thrown up. Still on the half-forward flank. Welsh wins the tap down. Tyler Stoko was tackled about the football and then held onto by Bunteen, brought him to ground, and his legs seem to get trapped under him, but he seems to be slowly getting back to his feet now. Bunteen and Stoko go at it.
And judging by a quick summation of what Lockie Miller said, he's happy to force the ball up to get that contest.
That's it, yeah.
Tap down Wen, finds Valla, hits him at full speed as Valla breaks through the centre of the ground. Long kick by Valla. Oh, look at that, Holt just knew where it was going to land and put his chest there to mark it. He's got Gardner going into the pocket, but he goes longer towards Nunn. Nunn can fly, but the ball just falls short of all. And taking a nice mark there for Beaconsfield was Bethio. He goes into the pocket where he finds Trent Stoko. Stoko goes back out towards Corey Walker. The ball just falls short. Gardner pressures him out of it. Long sweeping hand pass to Holt. Better crash. Holt was a leer. Holt gets his kick away. They need a mark. Getting pushed out of it there was Barker. The ball spills to Burr. He's slung as he gets his hand pass away. Beaconsfield have the numbers. They look to clear it now through Brad Homfrey up towards the half-back flank. Langley and Brandon Osborne. Langley just threw the ball out. Osborne tries to dive on top of it. Langley sockers it to himself. Marks has to go there for Cranbourne. Langley collects it, then gets wrapped up in a strong tackle and penalised. Holding the footy there. That was a bit of cat and mouse between the forward and the backman, and Brandon Osborne, as he's come accustomed to, wins out.
Just great closing speed, wasn't it?
It was.
Langley clean pick up, but
just didn't have the awareness. Osborne had him in his sights like a circling shark, and he just brought him to the ground and he won the free kick.
Dorsal fin out.
It did. It was fully loaded as Barker now goes short to Marks. You'll know what we're talking about if you listened last week. Steve O'Brien referring to Cranbourne as the circling sharks, but unfortunately it went a little bit empty last week as Marks goes right back to centre half back where he finds a Wapshot. Wapshot's got Morris further afield, but decides to go short. Oh, Behugo. I don't know if you'd play that one in cricket, but he's picked it up and claimed it. So on centre wing, Behugo will go long. Inside forward, 50. Looks like Marusic's best position to mark Marusic. That was courageous going back with the flight of the football there. Trent Stoko was closing, but Marusic was up to the challenge. 6'3" midfielders don't grow on trees. As Marusic just puts it into the space for a big pipes Gardner, who takes the mark and crashes in the Welsh and says, "Get away from me, son." And he'll line up for a shot on goal now from 40 metres out directly in front.
Yeah, they really cleared out so he could just get a free run at it through the pack there.
If you're a Cranbourne forward, you'll be loving the way the ball's coming in too. It's lace out.
No pressure.
Yeah, well, the backman, and the backman's got no chance at all spoiling those. First that kick to Holt and then that one to Gardner.
Gardner looking for goal number 2. Someone of his quality shouldn't miss, but sometimes he does. So Gardner nearly directly in front. Oh yes, we'll play that one. Gardner's kicked his second goal of the afternoon. Little Kermit in the goal square didn't give us much, but Gardner, he's kicked 2. Cranbourne's kicked 5, and they go to 5. Over the crowd, 5-3-33.
Like you got hide on your side.
Extending their margin out to 21 points, their biggest lead of the afternoon.
Yeah, I saw Rob Gardner actually as I was walking in this morning. He was very happy that we were calling this game. So if you're listening out there, Rob, cheerio.
You know Rob Gardner, who does a lot of camera work for Cranbourne, he heard our call about needing memberships at KC Radio, and he signed up with him and his wife. Nathan also spent some time at Frankston, so he's got an association with us. But back of the play, chain of hand passes there was cut off nicely by Bauer for Cranbourne. His hand pass in the space. There's plenty of beaky players around the football, but they couldn't get an effective disposal away as the pack forms, and the ball is going to be thrown up on the outer side half-forward flank.
And that's what I was saying before, that overuse of the ball by Beaconsfield against this team of circling sharks.
When taps it down, or soccering it out of the pack there was Welsh. Was that a free kick for a throw? Might go the way of Bunteen. Young Dwyer looked like a little old school rugby flick pass, and he was picked up nicely there by Kermit. So going short.
Not much has happened, really, is it?
Hugo. I was looking to see who it was Bunteen who got the kick out, but Hugo's kick goes up to the half-back flank, and Marusic running in circles, then goes by hand and finds Valla. Stops, pops, Valla. Oh, look at that for a pass. Oh, Roscoe just had to mark it. He couldn't do so. It's going to be turned over. Dwyer goes back by hand towards Walker. Usually pinpoint, goes to centre half forward looking for Morris. Taking the front position now is Brandon Osborne. Brings the ball to ground. Now he's got 4 to beat Osborne. He dives on top of it. He's like a junkyard dog, isn't he, Brandon Osborne? He wouldn't let that football go. And then we're going to see the ball thrown up at centre half forward. Jared giving us absolutely nothing.
Can't see nothing.
He won't get to 1,000 games at this rate. He'll be over to this afternoon. Umpires paid a free kick for a hold at the back of the pack. It was Valor against Verby. So Valor, long kick out towards Cavlot, who marks in front of Bowd. Beaconsfield, they've got their backs to the wall at the moment, boys. Short pass here by Cavlot, makes it hard for Roscoe. Trent Stoker, though, has given away a free kick for a sling tackle. After disposing of the football, Roscoe got slammed into the ground and has earned himself a free kick on centre wing.
His supporters weren't happy about that, and they had all the right to be.
No, nice pass there by Roscoe towards Maruzic. Getting his hand in there was Morrish. And then a strong tackle by Morrish to bring Maruzic to the ground, right in front of 97.7 FM. Hopefully you're enjoying the live feed at home, wherever that is. I'm glad you found it, because we don't know where it is.
Text us if you want.
Yeah, text us if you want.
0424038977.
We'd love to promote it. When taps the ball down, Maruzic grabs the football and the pack just falls with him. And we're going to see the ball thrown up just forward of centre wing. Cranbourne's advantage. There's a bit happening off the play between Trent Stokoe and Roscoe. Cranbourne leading by 21 points at the 10-minute mark of this second term as Wen taps it down to Vella. He puts his afterburners on and kicks the ball into Bromley. Gets enough purchase on it though to get inside forward 50. Juggling attempt there by Marks. Going through for Beaconsfield and was held without it was Doherty. No free kick was paid, so Doherty goes in a second time. His kick forward was well read by Bass, but he dropped the mark, put himself under pressure. Bass went by hand to Bertrand. Bertrand's missed Bunteen. He needs to be strong. Oh, he was good, Bunteen. Got the hand pass to Bertrand. Kick out towards Brandon Osborne. Overcooks it. About to be run down. Osborne just took it towards the boundary line. He's got plenty of pace there against Murphy. Crashes into McMillan. And that is strong local footy at its best. Osborne, McMillan not giving away an inch as the ball gets thrown in right in front of our broadcast position.
Again, Cranbourne were pushed back into Beaconsfield's forward line, but again they held the positions. Osborne was out here on the half-back flank ready to take the ball on. Welsh
taps it down. Trying to get it out there was Daniel Johnson, but he was tackled strongly by Barker and Maruzic. And we're going to see the ball thrown up. Wapshot's got his hands in the air just in front of us. He's off the ground at the moment. So throw up.
A bit of coaching.
When taps it down, coming through, leaving the ball behind was Damien Johnson, but Daniel got it to Damien, who goes out to Verby. He's wrapped up in a strong tackle there by Anthony Burr, who's really come to life in this second term for Cranbourne. Really injected some enthusiasm into the lineup, and the ball's going to be thrown in right in front of us here. Big crowd on the balcony, making it hard for us to see, but they're really getting into the first semi-final. Welsh taps the ball down. Wen goes a second strike at it, then he's tackled by Damien Johnson, who tried to go with the sort of the mount hold from the side there against the big fella. Readily wrapped him up, and the ball is going to be thrown up. It's been stuck in this position for a while. We're still on centre wing, broadcast side of the ground, with Cranbourne leading by 21 points. Wen takes the front position. Big slap down. Burr going hard towards the boundary line, and the whistle goes.
So you just saw before the Johnsons two handballs to each other, and then out to Verby, and Verby had three Cranbourne players around him, and
he wasn't expecting it, Verby.
But that's what they're doing, and Cranbourne are just waiting for him to get that ball out.
So throw in. Welsh taps it down. Burr comes through, but he's tackled by McMillan, and he's been penalised for holding the football. So McMillan plays on. Goes short to Dodsworth, slides in, spills the mark, out towards Davey. Look at him, dancing through traffic, sweeping hand pass to Cavlot, who rides the bump of Stokoe. Short inside hand pass finds Bowler. Bowler goes inside forward 50, looking for Gardner. Big pipes, flies, couldn't take the mark. The ball spills to Holt, tries to get a hand pass away. Strong tackle by Mac on play, and the umpires paid him for a push. Well, I won't say this too often, but Mark Holt, you're very lucky this time.
Yeah. Got one there. He sort of virtually dropped the ball. He and Gardner didn't have great communication in that marking contest.
Holt didn't know where he was for a minute.
He ended up coming off his back, but he picked up the ball and virtually dropped it, you could say. And then got one for pushing the back.
So he's kicked 1,000 goals, and I'd say probably 100 of them from free kicks.
Not even that.
So in he comes. Holt on 45, from 45 metres out, has pushed it right.
Got an ambulance.
Yeah, that's Bethal. And that's, imagine if Cranbourne had a kick straight, this would have been all over. It's 5-4-34 to 2 straight 12. Beaconsfield have not scored since the 13-minute mark of the first term.
And at this stage, they don't look like scoring at all.
They don't, no, exactly. As Bowd will go towards the outer side, really pushes the line, but gets plenty of purchase on it. Brandon Osborne, well, that's not Brandon, that was Corey Allison, who used his body quickly to put the right position, but his kick let him down, made it hard for Wapshot. Dodsworth nearly cut it off. Ball ricochets out of the pack towards Bunteen, but he was wrapped up in a strong tackle there by the young Beaconsfield player, well, not young at all, that's Daniel Johnston, who runs back to his half-forward position. So the ball's on centre wing. It's 5-4-34 to 2 straight 12. You're listening to KC Radio 97.7 FM. It's Bauer just cuts himself through traffic, but his kick made it hard for none. And taking a nice mark there was Ryan Bromley.
Yeah, Cranbourne definitely keeping Beaconsfield in this. They could have killed this game a long time ago.
He goes short to Devon Smith. Little pokey kick. Oh, but Walker takes on, is that Tavlot, who's, well, might be Bauer, who's come up worse for wearing that marking contest. The kick, though, from Walker went to Verby. Just slung a hand pass out towards Bailey Morris. They haven't been as clean at ground level this afternoon, have the Eagles. And they couldn't get any disposal away there as McMillan, the fiery red nut, just goes in and throws his weight around against Morris.
Yeah, a lot of their chips are hitting the players on the half volley too, aren't they? So they're putting them under pressure with those awkward kicks.
You only need to be off by about 5 or 6%. It can cost you dearly, which it looks like Beaconsfield are at the moment. Oh, it's going to be turned over though. Bunteen was nearly away. Cutting it off was Lear. The ball spilling towards Daniel Johnston, who goes by hand to Scotty Meyer from outside 50, goes into the pocket. Taylor Joyce and Osborne. Was there a hold? The umpire thinks so. And taking the free kick there is Taylor Joyce. I thought that was just a pure one-on-one battle, but there was a bit of a tug on the jumper, and the Joyce has earned the free kick.
I also think when you're a big forward and backing back into the pack, you're taking the player with you, and they're trying to scramble to get near that ball, and their arms can end up going anywhere and over the neck, and you're holding on.
You're very professional there, Jared.
I'm not giving you much because I can't see much.
Oh, you didn't refer to the word tug, so I appreciate that. As Taylor Joyce now, from only 15 metres out on a very tough angle, but should favour his right boot, steady approach, and Joyce has put that one right across and out of bounds on the full.
Yeah, not a great, they need all they can get, don't they, Beaconsfield? Yes. They need any scoreboard pressure at all.
Well, Holt was kicking them in the similar position in the first term and kicked kicked 2 majors, so
well, you know,
it was actually 3. Morris, next to the point post, goes long. Allison crashes into Wen, causes a bit of a spilly turn on the outer side. It was actually Bunteen wearing the bump, but coming up with it there was Wapshot. He goes short to Wen, but cutting it off nicely there for Beaconsfield was Tyler Stoko. He can load up, well, nearly got run down there by Burr, so it was actually Morris who has to check his kick towards Tyler Stoko. Couldn't complete the mark. The ball spills to Taylor Joyce. Ooh. Going for a fresh area there was Vella. Got enough on it to get it out towards Marks. Beaconsfield players come from everywhere to apply a tackle on Tommy Marks, and the ball's going to be thrown up on the paint of 50 directly in front. Beaconsfield need a goal. They trail by 22 points. We have gone 16 minutes of this second term. When taps it down, quick hands there by Daniel Johnston, going through Tyler Stoker, nearly tackled by Scotty Meyer. Lear just threw it out.
Yeah,
the umpire was to the wrong side of the pack, and then Anthony Vella applies a strong tackle on. Geez, I'm getting a workout there. Tyler Stoker again. So throw up, Welsh taps it down, going through was Damien Johnson, he gets upended, Maruzic, so it was actually Morris, got the ball out to Ryan Davey. Is that a throw? Yes. He's been penalised. Welsh looking to play on quickly, but he's been told just to hold it. And Trent Stoko now, no, it's not Stoko, it's Dwyer with the free kick. It will take his best effort, you would think, will take him from 55. Taylor Joyce isn't moving. Ryan Bromley runs past, received the hand pass.
And stop.
Dwyer's ignored it, he's going to do it himself. So from 55, Dwyer lines up. Gets plenty of purchase on it. Joyce is there when didn't look good, but it was effective as it punches it through for a behind. Beaconsfield's first score of the quarter, and they go to 2-1-13, reducing the margin to 21 points. We have gone nearly 18 minutes of this second term on KC Radio 97.7 FM.
The Beaconsfield players have to be quicker to get back on the mark if they're going to kick it in.
Yep, that's agreed. Allison couldn't mark. Verby was doing the roving. The no-look hand pass didn't find his intended target, which was Dwyer. Dwyer's second effort, though, has just slipped high, and Cranbourne will win the free kick there of Zach Roscoe, getting one for having his ears clipped. So Roscoe now, defensive side of centre wing for Cranbourne. He goes high and long. Marks is caught out of position. Welsh dropped the mark, but his second effort was good. Got the hand pass to Corey Walker. That kick around the body favours Verby. Protected the ball well, took the mark on his chest. Where are the options for Beaconsfield? Verby's taking too long. Langley's gone deep, but he decides to go into the pocket for Taylor Joyce. As we've seen throughout the afternoon, they've been about 5 centimetres short. And there's another example of it there. Joyce at full stretch couldn't take the mark as it goes out of bounds.
And their forwards create space for that ball. We saw Langley getting his own then, but they go the short option and they're not hitting targets.
Young players getting exposed for poor decision making as Morris takes on Wen, brings the ball to ground. Morris was sleek, got the little hand pass to Wire, the kick around the body, they compete in the goal line. Taylor Joyce had 2 to beat, and it was Morris punching it through for a behind for Cranbourne. Beaconsfield get a 2-2-14, 20 points the margin behind Beaconsfield. We have nearly gone towards 20 minutes of this second term.
That's Cranbourne's disciplined defence, 2-on-1, but they still punch. Play the percentages.
Bass goes long, Wen and Welsh. Welsh takes the front position. Dwyer's just collected Wen with a swinging forearm. Gardner got the hand pass there to Maruzic. His kick was partially smothered. Sliding over the top of it there with Tyler Stoko. Got the ball to Bowd. Bowd saw Maruzic coming and didn't want to be a part of it. Bowd got by hand towards Alir, and Alir just cool, calm, collected, took the ball over the boundary line right in front of centre, on centre wing in front of the 97.7 FM broadcast position.
It looks like Bowden was going back to cover right now. It looked like he had Pipes Gardner at one stage.
Wen taps it down, Dwyer, front and square, does the roving, gets a kick forward, Langley runs under it again, big punch coming from Brandon Osborne. McMillan couldn't get it out for Beaconsfield. It spills free now, coming through and getting tackled.
Yep.
There was Doherty, and he's been penalised for holding the football or incorrect disposal, as young Bunteen will take the free kick. He goes across the ground, finds a Roscoe. Continuing to run on the outer side there is Wapshot. He receives it and gets off one step towards Nunn. Well, this is quick transition football by Cranbourne as Nunn takes it inside forward, 50. The quarter behind the pack there was Gardner, and taking a nice mark was Ryan Bromley.
Cranbourne have stopped all the exits here.
So Bromley has to go long.
Except that one.
And finds Tyler Stoko. You can go over the top, no goes longer. Joyce falling over, I think that may have been actually a Wapshot as Joyce takes a mark, plays on, goes towards Langley who was leading towards the pocket. The ball goes over the top of that pack and dribbles over the boundary line. That kick going 60 or 70 metres as now Beaconsfield can reload inside forward 50. They're desperate for a goal. They're getting towards time on in this second term.
Well, they've stopped Cranbourne scoring,
yeah,
but they're not scoring themselves.
1 goal, 1 to 2 behinds in this second term. Big pack of players around the football. Who's going to win the ruck contest? It's Wen and Joyce. Wen taps it down. Dribbling ball. Bunteen gets a hand pass towards Barker. He goes to Bertrand. Comes back towards his right side there, Bertrand. But he couldn't get a disposal away as he was tackled there by Damien Johnston. And the ball's going to be thrown in. This is 30 metres around from Beaconsfield's attacking end. There's a big flock of Beaconsfield supporters behind the goals. Langley's in the goal square, matched by Brandon Osborne, as Wen taps it down. There's 15 or so players around the football. It's scrimmagey, it's tough. It's finals footies at its best, as Beaconsfield try to go through, but Vella applied a strong tackle there. That Damien Johnson coming on the outside. No, it was Doherty who got wrapped up in a strong tackle there. So the ball gets thrown up on the outer side. Wen and Joyce. Wen taps it down, but Morris was doing the roving. The ball went back there towards Doherty. The kick around the body, going back with the flight of the football was Wapshot. Couldn't complete the mark. Brandon Osborne and also Nathan Langley quite happy to get that ball over the boundary line. 5 metres around from Beaconsfield's attacking end. You think the ball's spending so much time in this forward 50, they have to get a goal out of this play. Throw in. Wen taps it down once again. Bertrand just slaps it forward. Coming up to meet the football there was Roscoe. He gets bumped out of it. Oh, there's been a free kick. It's going to go to Roscoe. I think he copped one high from Tyler Stoko who was coming through the pack, because I saw a head just ricochet back. It's actually Anthony Vella who will take the free kick. So for all that effort for Beaconsfield, they got nothing. They got 2 behinds. And Vella can now clear it. No, he's been called to play on. He's committed to bringing it out broadcast side, where Hugo takes a mark on his chest.
You say the ball's been Beaconsfield's half the whole quarter, but they just haven't been able to capitalise.
Hugo goes short to Bunteen, who marks, plays on, goes long to centre wing. Burr's got 2 to beat, brings the ball to ground, but Bromley was strong, and the mark was taken. He was appealing for a free kick, and the umpire was giving it to him. He's on edge, Bromley, on centre wing now. Got Walker just jumping forward at half forward. He's going to go that way now, but he's taken too long, so Joyce takes the front position, crashes the pack, loose football. Nunn goes back, he gets ripped out of it. The ball spills to Dwyer, tries to take the game on, goes to Damien Johnston. Johnson on his right boot, Johnston's kicked the goal! Finally some reward there for Beaconsfield. Johnston's kicked his first, and Beaconsfield's third. Damien Johnson's kicked his 11th goal of the season, and Beaconsfield go to 3-2-20, reducing the margin to only 14 points. Cranbourne 5-4-34. We have gone 22 minutes of this second term.
He really took ownership then, didn't he? He looked like he was going to handball and feigned again and thought, no, I'm going to kick this, I'll take it on myself and I'll kick this, and he's put it through the middle. And by the way this quarter's gone, you wouldn't believe it's only 14-point lead to Cranbourne.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, in that probably that first half, we've gone about 22 minutes here in the second quarter, and Beaconsfield have dominated probably around the ball, probably with the possession as well, but just haven't been able to hit the scoreboard until then.
Meyer goes in the ruck. He won the tap out and then went a second time and pushed Wen back into the ground, but back with the play here on centre wing. Beaconsfield getting some momentum as Dwyer goes short to Damien Johnson, who then uses Bowd. Bowd's kick up towards Matt Humphreys, move forward. Splitting the mark was Bauer, so Humphrey goes and does the roving. His hand pass though puts his teammate under some pressure. I can't quite see.
I think it's a free kick to Beaconsfield.
Yeah, it is, but I can't see why.
I think it might have been in the back there.
So taking the free kick for Beaconsfield is Doherty, who's been lively. Long kick forward. Joyce has a front position but couldn't mark. The ball spills to Dwyer. Short little dinky kick out towards Dodsworth. He just
saucepan, wasn't he?
Ran into, and the strong tackle applied there. That looked like it was a whap shot special. It was.
Dodsworth would have loved that too, wouldn't he?
He doesn't back down. He's usually antagonising when he doesn't have the football. Wen wins a tap down. Soccering it out though was Davey to Valla. While slippery conditions makes it hard. The ball spills to Daniel Johnson, who goes to Verby. Beaky have 2 in a minute. After struggling to score for more than a quarter, they've kicked 2 in a row and they've reduced the margin back to only 8 points. Riley Verby, last week's INET player of the final series, has kicked a great goal. Beaconsfield have 2 in a row, and the margin's back to 8 points. Beaconsfield 4-2. What's that? 4-2-30.
Yes.
4-2-26. Thanks, guys. To 5-4-34. You're not giving me anything today.
Nothing at all.
Worst performance ever by a special comments duo used to.
Oh, here we go. It's all about me.
Well, if it wasn't me, we wouldn't be on air right now. You're giving nothing.
As the ball goes,
Johnson.
as the ball goes up in the air. Big change, Scotty Moore going in the ruck is probably to give Run Ren around a bit more and just tire him out.
Well, Cranbourne had a full grip of this game, and 2 quick goals to Beaconsfield has really opened up the contest. 8 points the margin, closest Beaconsfield's been for a while, but winning the tap down was Meyer, doing the roving was Bauer. Long kick forward to a vacant half forward flank, running onto it there was Trent Stoko, getting hassled and pestered by Tom Marks. Both players jump on the football. Did well not to give away a free kick.
And they both kept their feet while they were just battling as well, which is good. It looked like Stoko was going to lose his feet, but stayed up there and in the contest.
So Meyer now. Wen probably hasn't met a ruckman of Meyer's quality in the competition so far, as Meyer uses his body well to position it down to Verby, but Verby couldn't collect the football before the boundary line collected him. So we're deep into the second term. 8 points the margin. Cranbourne need to respond. They lead by 8 points. They've led as much as 22 points during the quarter as Meyer taps it down to Verby. It was poetry in motion, but they couldn't capitalise Beaconsfield as Valla goes in, tries to break the tackle of Damien Johnson, couldn't do so. Daniel Johnson's gone through and pushed Bauer, and Daniel Johnson, sorry, it was actually Damien coming over the top protecting his twin, as Daniel Johnson's done himself a free kick, goes short, nearly touched there by Valla on the mark. Dwyer receives it on the bounce, got the hand pass there to Damien Johnson, long kick inside forward, 50, Langley flies but couldn't complete the mark. Going back with the flight of the football now is Morris, he gets run down by Dodsworth, the ball spills to Langley, the kick around the body by Langley, won't score, bouncing football, who's first back onto it? It could have been Ryan Bromley, but no, the ball goes out of bounds.
And Taylor Joyce was very slow to get up after that big contest, probably got a maybe a knee or a boot in the back from his teammate Langley.
Yeah, he's not good. Keep your eye on him. We know Cranbourne are down one significant player with Thal injured, as Wen does the ruck work, taps it towards Maruzic, because they don't argue, then spills the ball, still in the field of play. Now it goes out in that pocket for Beaconsfield, as they've done all the attacking in this quarter. We were just saying earlier that they were doing so well.
Just one thing with Taylor Joyce, he's got a lot of hair in that mullet to soften the blow a bit.
Well, I sent a compliment to Liam McQuillan yesterday saying we love the mullet, we know he's back in fine form, and he was going to tell him too. As Cranbourne now clear it through Bertrand, it's a ground ball, gets good 30-40 metres on it and compete close to the boundary line on the outside. Roscoe And looks like that was Ryan Bromley as the ball's going to be thrown in. Geez, another goal here would make it interesting for Beaconsfield, wouldn't it?
Oh, it certainly has. Well, they've got themselves right back in this contest now, haven't they? Where it looked all Cranbourne's way.
Short throw in, when double tap down. Beaconsfield are starting to win some crucial contests around the football. They couldn't capitalise there as the ball's going to be thrown in.
Oh, beauty, I can see now.
Oh, where is it? All right, we'll post it on ours. So it is live. Hopefully you're enjoying it on Facebook through the Sefnor website. Send us a text if you are, 0424038977, as none. Gets the hand pass towards Barker. Corralled there by Devon Smith, so Barker has to go long. Welsh has Holt. Welsh is leading the foot race back. Holt goes flying through after acceptors as the ball goes out of bounds. Jared trying to see if he can see himself on Facebook. No, Jared is covering the game and not the commentators. As the ball gets thrown in, Meyer taps it towards the back. Who's there for Beaconsfield? It's Verby. He sweeps the hand pass out there towards Dwyer. They've worked it out here nicely, Beaconsfield, up towards Matt Humphrey and Morris. Matt Humphrey tapping it to himself. Morris keeping position well. Was Humphrey brought Morris to the ground without the football? The umpire says no. Packed forms. Umpire's letting it go on that outer side. Big tackle applied. Was that Nathan Gardner going in there on the outer side? He's actually given away the free kick. So flexing some muscle, hasn't worked out there for Cranbourne. Taking the free kick now will be Sean Dwyer. There's not much movement further afield, so he just has to go along the centre half forward, crashing the pack and taking the mark. Morris, no, his offhand's not paid. So Morris gets the hand pass to Meyer, who goes to McMillan from true centre half forward. McMillan low trouble, inside forward at forward 50 as Joyce has used his body well there against Wapshot. Positioned himself nicely to take the ball, takes the mark, and he'll line up for a shot on goal. Nearly, 35 metres out directly in front. And Joyce, who's kicked one, could kick his second and reduce the margin to only 2 points. We are close. Sorry, Derek.
That's what I was going to say. He's had a big impact in these last 3 goals for Beaconsfield if he kicks this one.
So Taylor Joyce can reduce the margin to 2 points when the shadows are half time. It's going to be a big kick from the mullet. Staggered approach and no. Out of bounds on the ball.
Hit the post. He just stabbed at that, didn't he?
Didn't have the finishing. It would have been 3 in a row for Beaconsfield as well. But Corey Allison will have the kicking in duties. Most players are going towards the outer side centre wing. Vella's just come onto the ground. Nobody's picked Vella up. So if Allison's smart here, they could be away Cranbourne. No, he hasn't even seen Vella.
No, Stokey has picked him up, but no.
A long kick there by Allison, looking for Wen. Or was he held onto in the marking contest? Yes. Ooh. And Wen will take the free kick. Has the siren gone? Yeah, people are moving in front of us, so the siren has gone.
Yeah, it's a big let-off for Cranbourne.
It's 8 points to margin at half-time. It's Cranbourne 5-4-34, leading Beaconsfield 4-2-26. That quarter going a touch over 30 minutes as Beaconsfield have really put themselves back into the contest with 2 late goals. One to Damien Johnson and the other one to Riley Verby. Back-to-back goals, and the margin is only 8 points.
It's half-time, so there's still plenty of time to go in this game, but that's a real bad miss for Taylor Joyce there. Not even to register behind. It's just, could have 2 points down going into half-time. Cranbourne are 1 man down, 1 big man, which could hurt in the end, the size factor, so it could be a crucial miss come the end of the game.
Yeah, you'd say just with Joyce's miss there, good on Beaconsfield for rallying there towards the end. They've already brought the game back into touching distance now, and it'll be an interesting second half.
It's just interesting. The umpires are waiting for the goal umpires to confirm the score before they come off the ground. I just thought that was interesting. They're out there while 2 teams are off the ground. Cranbourne underneath it, just coming off, and Beaconsfield not far behind, going to their change rooms. The umpires have given the all clear for the scoreboard, so it is at half time. Cranbourne 5-4-34. Leading by 8 points over Beaconsfield, 4-2-26. Really great game we've got in our hands now.
Quick cheerio to Simon Curtis, who's listening in or watching via the live feed available through the Sefnor website.
Is that why he's kissing babies?
We'll take a short break here from Tumark Reserve in Pakenham, and we'll get the feed posted on our Facebook page, so you can check out KC Radio Sport for the second half here for the live feed. It's 8 points to margin. The goal kick is 2.5. first half, so it's been a pretty clean standard of football for the first half. Can't see any major changes. Whap shots on Joyce. Bass at centre half back there on Daniel Johnson. So underway to start the third term. Meyer taps it down, but when was doing the roving, got the hand pass to Davey. Davy's hand pass misses its intended target, which is Bunteen, as Beaconsfield have turned it over now through Bowd. His hurried kick forward. Coming up to meet it was Matt Homfrey, couldn't complete the mark. Bass goes back onto the footballs. He held without it. No free kick was paid. Yes, it was paid. Just a little bit delayed. So Bass will have the free kick for Cranbourne on the half-back flank. There are a lot of people here in the social club at Pakenham as Roscoe takes the mark, plays on, long penetrating kick inside forward, 50. Nobody there for Cranbourne as taking a nice mark was Ryan Bromley. So Bromley has nowhere to go. He's been called to play on, so goes into the pocket where he finds Walker. Walker has space to play on, looking to hand pass or getting corralled there by Bauer. They put themselves under some pressure here, Beaconsfield, close to the boundary line. Doherty has gone to 1-2 and then sweeps the hand pass over the top towards Dwyer, who goes short now on centre wing and finding Bailey Morris. He looked good in the first quarter, went quiet in the second. Bailey Morris now has the ball. Just defensive side of centre wing. Morris, who goes short and finds Tyler Stoko. So Beaconsfield trying to control the play at the momentum. Short passes have to be pinpoint. Stoko will go now to Meyer. The big man has to move. Did that go 15 metres? Must have just. As Meyer takes the mark. Running pass, received the hand pass, Walker. Didn't even have to break stride as Walker goes along towards Langley. He takes a nice mark in front of Osborne. That's his first mark I think he's taken today. Langley moving the ball quickly, goes long into the pocket. Taylor Joyce is there and gets his big dukes up and takes a nice mark. Breaking for him is Riley Verby. The kick needs to be pinpointed. It was. It was perfectly weighted there for Riley Verby to run into the space. Now he brought back on his angle, trying to steal a few extra degrees there. We're right behind this on 97.7 FM, and Verby, who kicked one, can kick his second goal here from only 5 metres out on a tight angle. Riley Verby, who picked up the 3 votes in the elimination final. They go to drop punt. He's told us he's going about 45 to make the angle a lot better, but Verby has snuck one home there for the Eagles. That's their 3rd straight goal in a row, and they reduced the margin to only 2 points.
You can tell
Beaconsfield 5-2-32, trailing Cranbourne 5-4-34. Yes, Jerry.
Yeah, you can tell Verby's not a 240. He actually didn't improve the angle as he's walking back to take the kick. He improved it as he was walking in to take the kick, and he just kept creeping in yards and improving his angle.
Lucky
wasn't called to play on.
Exactly right. But the first strike in this second half has gone the way of Beaconsfield. We have gone 3 minutes of play on 97.7 FM or on Red Onion's live stream. The cameraman has been working overtime this afternoon as Meyer floats in over the top, taps it down. A little dinky tap there by Doherty into the path for Morris around under the loose football. Morris goes inside forward 50. Whap shot punches the ball away. Morris goes in. He's tackled there by Joyce, trying to get a little dinky kick away. It's a hot footy. It spills out there towards Dwyer, who finds Homfrey. That was Matthew towards the goal face. Langley couldn't collect the football. The ball spills there to Daniel Johnson. Johnson's kick around the body, crosses the face of goal, and taking a relieving mark there is the big tall timber from Port Melbourne in Michael Wen.
Yeah, he did well then. He had to bust the puffer valve to get back there, take the mark. He did it well.
And you know you're on live feed and you start to pull that crap. Jared Healy as Wen finds Bunteen still inside the fence here 50. Bunteen goes long to centre wing. There's 2 Beaconsfield players there, and getting called out of it was Ryan Bromley to allow Jake Bowd to take the mark. So Bowd squaring past to Meyer, running past to receive the hand pass was Trent Stoko. Comes back onto his right side, long penetrating kick, looking for Langley. Up they fly. Damien Johnson was there, but couldn't mark. The ball spills out now towards Bertrand. He's got 2 to beat, taps it back towards Fella. He's tackled strongly there by Dwyer, and also is that Tyler Stoko just joining in for the ride, and the ball's going to be thrown up 40 metres out. Broadcast side wing, just down from the Cranbourne interchange bench. They're down 1 player with the injury to Thal during that second term. Meyer and Wen. No clear winner there. Vella goes in. He gets brought to ground. Is that in the back? No, he's been penalised for holding the football. Geez, Kermit the Frog just quick to make his decision there, and Scott Meyer has earned the free kick. I'll let you two discuss that, whether it should have been paid or not, but Scott Meyer will line up for a shot on goal. Will take his best effort 55 metres out on a 45-degree angle.
There's been 3 of those decisions played, 2 to Beaconsfield, 1 to Cranbourne, where if it's a one-on-one and they're tackled straight away and no other player gets involved, the umpires are prepared to pay holding the ball, but if it forms congestion, they'll call the ball up.
So Meyer from 50 goes long. The ball might come back in the breeze. No, it goes right across the face. Langley flies 3 deep. Couldn't complete the mark as Bertrand was quite happy to retreat that ball through. 4 are behind. 1 point the margin in favour of Cranbourne. They're 5-4 to 5-3. They move the ball in quickly, but it's been turned over. Davey needs to be brave. Taps it into the path there for B. Hugo. Blind turns his way out of trouble. Goes with his opposite boot and finds Marusic. He just held on for it long enough. And he's taking the mark on the half-back flank. Quick shout out to Poe from the bench woman who's just tuning into the live broadcast. You should be studying Poe. Marusic goes short and finds B. Hugo. Still marks defensive side of centre wing. They're under some pressure here at the moment, Cranbourne. So B. Hugo happy just to hold on to the play as Morris breaks for him into space. Just travels required 15 metres, and the big tall centre half-back for Cranbourne has it on centre wing. Morris goes along. Bounds there for Beaconsfield. Holt crashes the pack. Loose football. Trent Stokoe goes through. Gives it, don't argue, the Cavlop, but then drops the footy. And they're going on with it now, Beaconsfield. They're definitely full of confidence after kicking the last 3 goals of this final, and they trail by a point.
Yeah, they've got the momentum back and letting the opposition know about it too.
So throw in, Wen and Meyer. Meyer uses his body well. Gets the ball going backwards there after getting dumped heavily was Dwyer. Beaconsfield worked their way out, but coming through and smothering it nicely was Burr. Dived on top of the football and was collected high, so he's earned the free kick. He's got Roscoe at centre half forward as a short option. Decides to go longer. Backing back with the flight of the football was Bromley. Holt goes with one hand, couldn't claim the mark. Walsh is there, he's just taken the pack with him forward. Is that a free kick for in the back? No, the umpire decides he will throw it up.
Yeah, and that's, again, I think that they tackled by 2 players, so they're prepared to ball those up, where if it's one single player tackle them, there's a good chance they'll play holding
Just
the ball.
like the pack fell forward as Holt was doing the ruck work there. Tapped it down to Davey, who goes to Bass, looks to load up, but goes into the pocket. Bouds there, 1-on-1. Going with the one hand was none. Did he complete the mark? No, was that Cavlot? I'll just have to think. It may have been Cavlot there for Cranbourne. A bit of a push and a shove. How do you do in the pocket?
Do you think that was Bass, where we saw he got the ball on the half-forward line and got a bit, I'm close to goals?
It was Cavlot at the bottom of the pack. No, it was definitely an intended pass. The ball gets thrown up. Holt taps it towards a dangerous position, but it's Beaconsfield with the clearance through to Dwyer. High up and under pass around the body, and using his body well there against Morris was Burr. Now that should be 15 metres, and it is. That was silly play by Bailey Morris to push the Cranbourne player into the ground after the mark was completed, and Burr has gone from a position where he probably wouldn't have kicked a goal. He can go now and kick Cranbourne to a 7-point lead. This will be their first goal since the 7-minute mark of the second term. This could be a momentum swinging decision by Bailey Morris.
A bit of push and shove going on out there too.
Burr kicks the goal from point blank range, and they were getting stuck in the Morris. Cranbourne players come to celebrate, and they go out to a 7-point lead. That's Burr's first goal of senior football for the year as Cranbourne go to 6-4-40.
They're still going on with the
leading Beaconsfield on 5-3-33.
Yeah, Mark Holt's just dispersing them all, but he's done arguments.
7 points to margin. Interesting position in play. We've gone 9 minutes of this third term. Hopefully you're enjoying the live feed through Facebook. You can follow it at KC Radio Sport or through the Sefnal Facebook page. As the ball gets thrown up, Meyer now against Allison. Meyer the clear winner, but roving at best was Marusic. He gets ridden to the ground there by Dodsworth, and Kermit the Frog will go in and throw it up again.
Yeah, 2 big mistakes by Beaconsfield before half-time, and that 50-metre penalty as well.
Meyer nearly slipped over in the rucking contest. Verby tries to sock it off the ground. Could have been a free kick paid kicking in danger. You don't see that rule paid too often these days as players dive on top of the football there. Bunteen, Marusic from Cranbourne. Looks like it's Daniel Johnston there as well. And at the bottom of the pack is young Dwyer for Beaconsfield. Throw up. Allison, Meyer just punched it to the fat side of the ground, but picking it off nicely was Roscoe. He kicks the ball forward, bouncing football, coming up to meet it there. Gets ridden into the ground by Gardner is young Beaconsfield player Berthio. He gets a hand pass out of bound. Is that holding the football? Strong tackle, should have been awarded. I think it was. Advantage paid to Cavlot, who goes inside forward 50 looking for Hugo. He's got Bromley to beat, couldn't keep his position to claim the mark, off hands, and it goes out of bounds.
It was either that or the umpire gave Bow the benefit of the doubt and he got his little toe to it.
Oh, not sure, Jerry, but the ball's going to be thrown in. Cranbourne's attacking in. They're 30 metres out from goal. Holt and Welsh doing the ruck work. Welsh floats over the top, brings the ball to ground. Getting tackled and slung with it there was Barker. Loose football, it's a hot football. Comes out towards Holt, was the first tackle hide. Tried to bar his way through, couldn't do so, got dispossessed. The hurry kick forward coming from Doherty from Beaconsfield. Comes out towards Fella. It's 3-on-1 in favour of Cranbourne. One way then the other. I can't see because I've got heads in the way. As Cranbourne have a shot on goal from the pocket, goes all the way as Bromley flies in from the side and punches it through for a behind.
You just feel like Cranbourne need the next one. I mean, Beaconsfield just need the next one just to keep in touch there before this game sort of gets a bit out of hand. You can see a bit of emotion into it already.
6-5-41 go Cranbourne, leading Beaconsfield 5-3-33. The long kick in by Bromley to centre half back. Myers there, crashes the pack, couldn't mark. McMillan jumps to collect the football. Marusic brings him to ground, and we'll see the ball thrown up on the paint of 50 directly in front of Cranbourne's attacking end. They've kicked one goal. Beaconsfield have kicked one in this third term. The margin is 8 points in favour of Cranbourne as it was at half time. As the ball goes up, comes back down. Barker was in there and also Ellison from Cranbourne. And Daniel Johnson, Valla and McMillan have a push and a shove. How do you do? My boots look better than yours. As the ball gets thrown up, Meyer flies high, brings the ball to ground. Looks like Daniel Johnson didn't really want it. Corey Ellison did. Got the hand pass back there to Bunteen. The kick around the body goes into the pocket looking for Holt. Was he held on to by Welsh? No free kick paid. Bouncing football, Burrs there. Alias going in hard for Beaconsfield. Without a push in the back, it was. Taking the free kick on the outer side. Looks like it's Jordan Barker. He can go short to Ellison at centre half forward. Decides to go into the pocket where Holt will take the mark. Now this will take Holt's best. He's 55 from home. Where's Pipes Gardner?
No, he's looking to get
Hugo's
this off,
there.
yeah.
No, he goes with a swearing. Worm burning pass there for Lockie Mitchell to get involved. Nunn drops the mark. His second effort though was good. Leaves the ball behind. Arms are flinging. McMillan was there, and also Burr. And the ball's going to be thrown up.
Yeah, sorry to steal your thunder on that one, Painter.
No, it's okay.
Just these
I understand you're a rookie.
young enthusiastic Beaky players are giving away free kicks.
Yeah, big clash of bodies there. The loose football, the back of the pack. Players go in from all directions. And we're going to see the ball thrown up. It's definitely been a slower tempo in this third term. Both teams just holding on to the football. Not seeing many wasted possessions at the moment. Meyer flies in over the top, brings the ball to ground. Marusic's there, tries to break through from McMillan. Couldn't do so. The umpire decides he'll throw it up.
I think there's been a draw in between the A-grade netball game between Cranbourne and Mary Warren, so they look like they're playing extra time now.
Okay, that's at the back of us here in the social club. Back with the football here, but Hugo runs under a loose football from the pocket and has kicked a goal. 2 in a row to Cranbourne, but Hugo kicks his first, and Cranbourne's seventh. Cranbourne go to 6-5-47, out to a 14-point lead against Beaconsfield, 5-3-33.
Yeah, it looks like you just need Beaconsfield to kick the next one just to keep in touch here. Otherwise, it might get a little bit of out of hand for them. We saw them do it at quarter time, just sort of bring the game back in when it was up to about a 14 to 20-point lead. But now it looks like Cranbourne have pushed it out again in the middle there. I think Langley and Verby there have just kept a bit quiet, and I think you just need to step up here just to keep this game in touching distance.
Quick cheerio to Glenn Keenan, who's logged on to the live feed through Facebook as well. Hopefully you're enjoying it online. Sefnell first. Sefnell's finals series live online as Meyer taps the ball down. Ryan Davey slides in over the top of it. Bauer and Davey going at it. The pack's formed with Daniel Johnston there as well from Beaconsfield. So the ball's going to be thrown up. Cranbourne are covering Thal's injury at the moment of Ellison in the ruck against Meyer. Meyer goes for a big punch. Marusic reads it best. Dodsworth jumps on top of Marusic. Big man meets small man, and we're going to see the ball thrown up once again. Score check. It's Cranbourne 7-5-47, leading Beaconsfield 5-3-33. Cranbourne the last 2 goals of this third quarter as Meyer taps it down. They're not capitalising on his dominance in the ruck at the moment, Beaconsfield, as Davey gets ridden in the ground quite heavily. Crashed the pack. Strong tackle applied by Daniel Johnston, and the ball's going to be thrown up once again.
In the past, when this happens, Meyer starts punching the ball.
Yeah, he gets frustrated. Goes towards the back of the pack where he found Tyler Stoko. Couldn't get purchase on it. And Davey did for Cranbourne, kicks it up towards the half forward flank. Coming up to meet it there with Trent Stoko. He didn't want it and shoveled the hand pass to Devon Smith. That was pinpoint, finds Dodsworth, who's on the run through centre wing. Dodsworth kicks into the path of Langley, slides in, takes a nice mark on his chest. He says, don't worry boys, I can do this. He'll take his best from outside 50. He's on a 45-degree angle. Taylor Joyce is yet to move.
They've opened the forward line up though, so if he wants to lead he can, he's got space.
Well, they moved Meyer into the ruck and Matt Humphrey from the back line into the forward line. That's some of the major positional changes in this term. Taylor Joyce leads to the pocket. Langley doesn't even look interested. So Langley says, I am the man from the West Gippsland who can do this. And he'll line up from 55 metres out. Langley goes, bang! That looks good off the boot. It's coming back through. It has! And Langley kicks his first goal of the afternoon and reduces the margin back to only 8 points. Langley's first goal is a big momentum swinger here in the third term as that brings the Beaky supporters to life.
Yeah, he said, I'll take this responsibility on. Didn't think he'd have the distance, but he got it beautifully and the ball came around nicely from left to right. So it's a big goal for Beaconsfield.
Yeah, it is. Obviously, he obviously backed himself in there and kicked the goal. He obviously had Joyce and Verby just circling around the pack. Obviously, the Sharks there, but now obviously knew he had it in him and kicked it.
8 points the margin in favour of Cranbourne. When working overtime, so's Davey. He's wrapped up in a strong tackle there by one of the Johnston brothers. That's Damien, and the ball's going to be thrown up once again.
So you see Langley's moved to full forward now for Beaconsfield.
Joyce is down there as well. The ball gets thrown up, comes out the back. Oh, Mark spilt it into the pack of players. Cavlot applies a strong tackle there on the Beaconsfield player. Looks like it was Bailey Morris, who looks like he's now moved around the footy. So Meyer and Wen go at it. Wen wins that tap down, but Tyler Stoko was there. His kick was smothered by Davey. Ricochets out towards Trent Stoko. Breaks free of the tackle from Burr. Breaks through a second tackle there, Trent Stoko. Then gets his kick away towards Matt Humphrey. Did everything but mark it. Has the time to go back and correct himself now. Kicks it inside forward. 50. Bertram was brave. Sitting in the hole there of Joyce. Verby, was he tackled high? Yes, he was. A bit ticky touch with that one, but it was there. And
he was going to ground, and Bertram just got him high as he was going down, and he's drawing the free kick.
Rockie's just checking out his Tinder messages there as Verby now will line up from 50 metres out, nearly directly in front. Well, he looks like he might enjoy Jinder. He's lining up now. We're kicking this from 50. Verby has kicked 2. This will be for his third goal. And this will really put the cat amongst the pigeons. They can reduce the margin to only 2 points. Verby. He has got a decent kick on him at times, and usually accurate in finals. He kicked 3 goals last week. Looking for his third today from 50 metres out. Verby goes long. Has it got the distance? It won't make the accuracy anyway. The ball comes off the pack. Lear's there for Beaconsfield. Under some pressure by Burr. It was actually Bauer. He's done well. He corralled Damien Johnson, who goes back to Daniel Johnson. Shows to Candy. Hand pass to Matt Humphrey. Short little dinky kick. Partially smothered by Bauer. Ricochet to Wen. He just tapped it back to Bauer. He's taken half the pack with him as the crowd appear for holding the ball, which will be not paid. The ball's going to be thrown up just inside forward 50. Sorry, Jared.
No, that's all right. Yeah, I was just going to say, I think it was a lap shot or just goes volleyball.
No, it was Wen.
Sorry. No, don't give it to me.
The ball gets thrown up. Humphrey and Wen. Wen taps it down to Maruzic. Kick around the body, bouncing football coming up to meet it Ryan Bromley, but he leaves it behind for none. But be tackled by Alier. There's something happening behind the play. It's not Wen, it's Morrish. And Verby going at it. So is it a free kick to Cranbourne? I've lost track of the football. It's on centre wing. Mark Holt has actually picked up the football. I don't know what's happened behind the play. Keep your eye on that for me, boys. As Holt goes off the centre wing. Morris has come through. It looks like he may have broken his leg here, Bailey Morris. He has gone down in a world of hurt after that marking contest. I wasn't seeing what was happening behind me, Jared, but Morris still hasn't moved. He crashed into Wen and he's holding his ankle. Wen goes short to Ryan Davey. Into the pocket. Trent Stoko gets a punch away. Oh, you can just feel it bubbling as Devon Smith tries to break free. Bouncing football. Nice work there by Ryan Humphrey. And pass towards Stoko. He's dropped it and that's holding the football. Vella's earned the free kick.
I think the runner's trying to get the umpire to stop playing.
I think Morris has broken his leg. So Vella can make the journey. What will the umpire do? Will he hold the play? No, there's no stretcher being called yet. Bailey's now coming off the ground. So Vella with the margin at 8 points. He can make it 14. Vala's gone bang to the wrong side of the post and through for a behind. They go to 7-6, 48.
Yeah, it looks like he's
9 points to margin in favour of Cranbourne.
A little bit of weight on the leg, but Billy Buttons, our expert medical advisor, just saying it could have been knee.
No, it's definitely ankle. Bowed goes short to Bromley. I know Billy's pressing Buttons, but Bailey Morris was pressing his ankle as Bromley goes long up towards the half-back flank. Oh, there was a shove in the marking contest. The mark's been taken anyway by Roscoe. He just goes over the top now and finds that Thomas Marks. Well, Beaconsfield really need to settle. There's plenty of intensity in this contest. Now, this is a big kick for Marks. He missed one from a similar position in the first term. Brandon Osborne's coming running to the bench. He's coming off and replaced by Corey Allison, but Tom Marks. The margin is currently 9 points. He can make it 15 from 40 metres out on a 45-degree angle. Marks slips as he's kicked it and has pushed it right and through for a behind. 7-7, 49 go Cranbourne, leading by 10 points. Beaconsfield 6-3, 39. We have gone 20 minutes of this third term on KC Radio 97.7 FM. Jared Healy.
And probably this pushing and shoving down here. Verby, again, that youthful exuberance spilt over, and 50 metres were played against Cranbourne for them to get it back into their forward line.
Bromley kicks it in. Welsh takes a mark. Welsh goes back to Bromley and he goes long. The kick's going to favour Wen. Oh, he tried to outposition wide, allow Holt in. He couldn't complete the mark. Bass does the roving. Sweeping hand pass to Bauer. Trent Stoker went in for bump rather than the tackle. Getting dispossessed though with Daniel Johnston. Bauer's done well. Sweeps a hand pass over the top now towards Barker. Barker squaring pass. Marks was there. Getting a fist in though was Walker. Coming through Tyler Stoko. Leaves the ball behind. Bass plays for the free kick. It wasn't there. Loose football. McMillan goes in. He's met heavily. Strong tackle applied.
Good solid contest that.
By Bunteen, and the ball's going to be thrown up at centre half forward for Cranbourne.
Yeah, it's a huge game out here, real just arm wrestle at the moment.
Giving us nothing, Jared. Meyer taps it down to Davey. Davey gets the hand pass to Valla. Up and under, Holt's there, crashing in though was Corey Walker. The ball spills to Tom Marks in the pocket. Marks squaring pass. Who's there? Cavlot flies. Couldn't complete the mark. The ball spills out now to Burr, close to the boundary line. Did that come off Bromley's foot? It has, but it's trickled over the boundary line. 30 metres out from Cranbourne's attacking end. They lead by 10 points. We have gone 23 and a half minutes of this third term.
A lot of kicking and hope into the Cranbourne forward line there and just hoping for the best. Needs to be a bit more composure and efficiency.
The score is 7-7, 49 Cranbourne to 6-3, 39.
Throw in. Little dinky hand pass there by by Ryan Bromley. Ball comes out the back. Bromley did really well. His second effort was good. Gets his kick away. Caught out the back, that was McMillan. Dropping the mark was Bass. His ground ball hand pass to Davey was too hot. Trent Stoko in his hands, and he's got the hand pass there to McMillan. And then goes to Verby, and Verby's just sprayed it from centre half back, and it's gone out to half back flank on the full. Oh well, Verby. He might be good at getting the mouth off behind play, but his kick under pressure was no good. Was it, Riley Verby? And the free kick's on the way of Cranbourne. I can't see. It's a long kick forward. Cavlot's there, but Meyer over the top takes a telling mark there for Beaconsfield. He kicks it in the pocket. Bouncing football for Ryan Bromley. He collects now. He's got a player on. It's Devon Smith. Devon Smith can play on. He goes short. Makes it hard there for Matt Humphrey. Good work there by Bauer. He's dropped a footy. They'll be penalised for holding the ball. And it's Devon Smith with the free kick for Beaconsfield. He gets a hand pass further afield to Bowd. Just glides through Tumac reserve. Bowd goes long into the pocket. Joyce is there, but big win. Oh, he did everything but mark it. His second effort's been good. Gets his kick forward. Oh, made it hard there for Cavlot, but traps it nicely. Breaks away from the tackle from Matt Humphrey. Hand pass to Bass. He can come through the centre of Tumac reserve. The fishman. Bass takes a bounce. Will he take another one? He kicks it up towards Holt. He's taking a mark on his chest. He's got Burr breaking for him. He's gone in that way. Burr needs to take the mark, and he has. Oh, that was courageous football by Burr. Going back with the flight of the football there against Doherty. Burr has done well. He's kicked one from a 50-metre penalty to start this third term. This one will be a little bit tougher. From 25 metres out, nearly directly in front. They lead by 10 points. They can make it 16. We have gone 26 and a half minutes of this third term. Burr playing his first game of senior football this year. Can he make it 2 goals in the third term? Burr from 25 metres out has kicked it! Oh, that's a huge goal for Cranbourne. They're back out to a 16-point lead, and Burr's come straight off the ground after that. They're replaced by Roscoe.
Trademark Cranbourne footy there. They won the ball on the half-back line instead of mucking around with an over-possessing it. 2 long kicks, one to the advantage of Holt, and then Holt just chipping it over the top to Bird, who made position running back in towards an open goal.
Can Beaconsfield respond? They trail by 15 points.
They've responded in most games and most quarters, and now they've got to do it again, but how many more of that have they got in them?
8-7-55, Cranbourne leading Beaconsfield 6-3-39. As Meyer wins another tap down, Devon Smith was given no space. And the ball's going to be thrown up. No, it was actually Daniel Johnson getting wrapped up the ball in his hand. He's been matched now by Valla as Wen taps it down. Coming through there was Roscoe, finds Barker, another entry inside forward 50. Coming up to meet it was Welsh. He dropped it straight off his chest. Loose football now. Bromley's applying some pressure there for Beaconsfield. It spills out the marks. Pipes Gardner, the kick around the body, but going back with the courageous effort there was Welsh, who got one high there from Holt. But Welsh has taken a telling mark for that Beaky defence. Tried to play on quickly. By hand, he found a teammate who brings it out now towards Doherty, who's taken a nice mark against Roscoe. Doherty's kick up towards centre wing, Matt Homfrey. In front of Morris has done well to take the mark. He goes inboard looking for Meyer. The big man starting to have an influence on this contest. Meyer plays on. Long kick to centre half forward. Going back with the flight of the football there was Hugo to give away a free kick. He did. And taking the free kick there is Daniel Johnston. Usually good by foot. Johnston goes into the pocket looking for Langley. Up he flies. Did he have enough purchase on it? No. Loose football. Going back with the flight of the football there is Devon Smith. Comes back onto his right side. Goes into the pocket. And the only one home for Cranbourne was Bertrand. Ever reliable Jordan Bertrand goes into the pocket where he finds Morris. He can go over the top now to Bass. And then Bass can go to Roscoe if he wants to move it quickly along the line. Corralled nicely though by Damien Johnston. Where does Bass go? He'll have to go long to Wen. That's going to be his option. Wen has to stand strong. The big man collects the football. Does well. He can go over the top towards Bauer. Marusic doesn't look like he wants. He's been called to play on. Wen had an eternity. He goes short and finds Cavlot. Cavlot marks in front of Verby on centre wing. Right in front of the 97.7 broadcast position. Cavlot goes short to Bauer, who's got Marusic at centre half forward. Gardner's gone towards the goal square. He's gone with a squaring pass back to Wen. The big man starting to have a presence in this third term. Wen goes long to centre wing where Hugo takes the mark. He's got Morris continuing to lead into the pocket. That option's going to be ignored. Hugo just pops it over the top where he finds Allison. Now Corey Allison's had a big afternoon after the injury to Thal. He'll go long. The 18-year-old goes inside forward 50. Where's Holt? He's got 3 to beat. Loose football running onto it. Marusic's kick around the body goes across the face and through for a behind. Oh, he created something out of nothing there to Sean Marusic. 8-8-56 go Cranbourne, leading Beaconsfield 6-3-39. They haven't scored since the 16-minute mark of this third term. Bromley goes short and finds Bowd, who's taking the mark in the pocket. When's this third quarter going to ring? That's 29 minutes gone as Bowd goes long towards the outer side. Allison's there, flying in was Damien Johnson. He couldn't complete the mark at ground level. Bauer had 2 to beat. Devon Smith breaks through, gets a hand pass there towards Dwyer. Goes back onto his right side. He goes short where he finds Johnston. Long kick up towards Langley. Brandon Osborne to give away the free kick. Oh, there's been a free kick downfield. And Langley will take the free kick on the half-forward flank for Beaconsfield.
Take a breath.
Yeah, Langley now has been called to play on, so he goes into the pocket looking for Joyce. Bertrand was brave, gets a big defensive punch away towards the boundary line. Lockie Mitchell, you're still with us, thank you very much.
Yeah, I'm here.
The ball's going to be thrown in, inside forward 50. We have gone 30 minutes in this third term. 3 goals to 2 in favour of Cranbourne. Yes, Jared Healy?
They're good at Cranbourne. They're dropping one back in the hole all the time and making a 2-on-1 contest.
When out positions Taylor Joyce in the rucking contest, the ball comes out the back. Wow. That was Langley who's gone in. Now we might just see a little bit of a how you do. Wapshot didn't like what he saw. Some brave heads there. Players are still coming in, but nothing too untoward I can't see happening there. So that is 3/4 time in the first semi-final on KC Radio 97.7 FM, and also, oh hang on, what's happening here?
I think it's just having a chat.
Why did Bass run away from the pack?
Well, he went out
getting chased by Langley now, so...
Yeah, Langley went out to see him. Just to say, hi, I know your number. I like your lime green boots.
I think you cut my grass last night at Empire. I think you were saying the Bass has one up there on Langley. He's just shredding his stuff Saturday night at Fountain Gate. But anyway,
Have you not just noticed that, have you, Kane?
I've noticed. I've
I saw it when you walked in.
to put it in.
Yeah, no.
Just been waiting to slip it in.
Yeah, thank you.
Been in one of those saver shops, have you?
I don't know where I got this from, actually. But
I'd be taking it back.
brilliant. Thanks for that.
Oh, come on, Peter Griffin.
Oh, one stat again.
Yeah. He wants one pie with one bit of sauce. Good on you, Stuart. Well, hopefully you're enjoying the broadcast both on KC Radio and also through the Facebook feed available through KC Radio Sport, and also through the Sefnil Facebook page as spectators make their way off the ground. There is a short delay.
And out onto the balcony.
Well, hopefully it rains, because that will push the crowd out of my view. But we're underway for the final term here on KC Radio. Kent Beaconsfield unsettled Cranbourne, who lead by 17 points. As Verby goes long inside forward 50. Loose football there for Osborne. His kick around the body, though, was smothered nicely on the last line of defence by Daniel Johnston. Nearly caused a turnover, but it's going to be Cranbourne kicking it in. There was actually Bailey Morris, who we thought was injured in that third term, creating the smother. So the first point of the final term's gone the way of Beaky. They're 6-4-40 as Cranbourne bring it in. Wen was caught out of position. Meyer tries to go through and get the football, but it's Maruzic still working hard. Kicks the ball up towards centre wing, running onto it there, and a pass to Welsh was Marks. He takes one bounce. We go for a second, no. He goes long, looking for Pipes Gardner, who flies and takes a great mark. But Theo going back with the flight of the football couldn't stop Gardner from taking the mark. And he's played on, ran into a vacant goal square and kicked the goal. The umpire's still standing there saying, no, he's given the all clear. So the first goal of the final term's gone to Gardner. He's kicked his third goal of the afternoon, and Cranbourne have gone out to a 22-point lead. Cranbourne go to 9-8-62, leading Beaconsfield 6-4-40. That quarter's gone for the final term's gone for 2 minutes.
Yeah, look at that, straight out of the blocks there. Verby gets the clearance there straight down Kong, and just an absolute blasting kick into their forward 50. Obviously it looks like it needs to be a bit of an attacking start, and they've started in the right way. Obviously had that counter-attack and then Gardner kicking that goal.
Well, it's their second highest margin for the afternoon. They got up to 23 points during the second term. Can Beaconsfield now respond? As Meyer wins a tap out, goes in a second time, but has to use Dwyer. He kicks it to a vacant centre wing, hoping Devon Smith can get his wheels burning. It does. Ooh. Devon Smith gets bumped after he's kicked it. It's a loose football. I'm going to have to open the window. So we're close to the centre wing. The ball's still in the field of play. Beaconsfield get it going forward. Taking the mark there was Morris. I've got 15 heads in front of me. I cannot see it. Bailey Morris will go long inside forward 50. Jesus, some ignoramuses here. Long kick. Langley's there, but when the towering timber from Cranbourne does well to take a nice mark on the last line of defence.
He's just gotten better as the game's got on, hasn't he?
Like last week. Yep. Like a big V8 engine. Once he gets going, he finds his pace as he's been bumped heavily there by Langley, and the kick will go down the field. With Cavlott will take that free kick on the half-back flank. So Cavlott plays on, goes to the centre wing with Hugo. The ball just floats over his head. Stoko couldn't complete the mark, but Theo's leading the race there for Cranbourne. Tries to open the play. And Pipes Gardner's given away a push in the back. Stoko tries to take the advantage, which was ignored. So Bethio takes the free kick. He goes short, finds Daniel Johnston. Still defensive side of centre wing, Johnston. He's walked about 10 metres off his mark, now being called to play on. So he pops it up, hoping to find Bailey Morris, who's got 3 to beat. Loose football, running onto it there is Maruzic. Has no option forward, so he goes for a hand pass back to Bass. It's been turned over. Devon Smith gets a hand pass there towards Dwyer, close to the boundary line.
It's gone over.
Has it? No, there's been a free kick, I think.
Oh,
it's gone to Beaconsfield. Apologies for our viewers back at home. I can't see due to the amount of people standing on the balcony. It doesn't make sense to me either. Bailey Morris picks it up. The loose football kick around. The body goes across the face and through for a behind. Margin back to 21 points. Beaconsfield go to 6-5-41. Trailing Cranbourne 9-8-62. We have gone 6 minutes of play in this final term.
So they're peppering the goals, but you feel that Beaconsfield just have to work too hard, and by the time they have a shot on goal, they're just out of legs.
Well, exactly right. There hasn't been a lot of structure to their game at the moment. Bass goes long. Taking the front position there was Roscoe. The ball gets punched out to Dodsworth. Can Dodsworth kick the goal for Beaconsfield? He can't. He should have. He was in a lot more space than what he realised there, Dodsworth. That's 3 behinds in this final term. The margin's reduced to 20 points. Beaconsfield 6-6-42, trailing Cranbourne 9-8-62 as Bass will bring it in once again. Broadcast side of the ground. It goes along. Taking the front position from Meyer was Maruzic, allowed Wen to float in and take the mark. Wen plays on, kicks it up towards Marks. Needs to be brave. He was. Took the mark on his chest. Hand pass to Davey. Inside hand pass back to Vella. He lets the ball bounce, now collects. Tries to come back inside Stoko. That's the hand pass to Cavlot. Cavlot off one step. Oh geez, it didn't look good off the boot at all. And taking the mark there was Walker. Played on. Run down by Gardner. But his kick was good enough to find Dwyer. He goes by hand now to Daniel Johnson. Off one step. Kicks it up towards centre wing.
Not a good kick at all.
Looking for Verby, but favoured Tom Marks. It wasn't good, was it, Jared?
No, from experienced play, you need those to hit targets.
So Marks goes inside the centre square. He finds Bertrand. Bertrand goes to his counterpart. He's a partner in crime in Bass, who takes the mark on centre wing. They've made a formidable half back line, haven't they, Bass and Bertrand? And Bass goes back to Bertrand. Well, they don't just share stubbies on a Saturday night, they're now sharing the football as Bertrand goes back to Bass. And they're still on centre wing. Now he'll line up Dylan Bass. Oh, here comes Taylor Joyce to get amongst it. Causes Cranbourne to be under some pressure. Coming back onto his inside there was Brandon Osborne. Gets the hand pass to Bass. He looks lost without Bertrand, so he has to go long. Taking the mark on the outer side is Barker. Now forward of centre wing Barker. He can go when at centre half forward. That option's ignored. He'll be called to play on in a second. It is now. So Barker has to go long. Holt's got 3 to beat. He flies high, does well to bring the ball to ground, but Damien Johnson was there. Goes to his brother Daniel. The ball bobbles out to Welsh. He goes back by hand to Walker. He's in 2 minds. So over the top to Trent Stoko. To Meyer, who was flat-footed but good enough to get the hand pass away to Bromley. Bromley brings it out broadcast side of the ground. Bethio lets it bounce.
They've got numbers.
Breaking away from the tackle was Bethio. Hand pass to Devon Smith. Devon Smith on centre wing. He'll go long. Favouring Joyce. Saving punch away by Brandon Osborne. Matt Humphreys there for Beaconsfield. Can he keep it in the field of play? He can. Squaring pass. Flat-footed Verby. Slams it on the boot. Verby inside forward 50. The juggling attempt mark we paid there to Dwyer.
Smith crossed it into Dwyer there. And gives Dwyer the opportunity.
Oh, Dwyer gets the hand pass to Bromley. Goes with a long kick from outside forward 50. Oh, Langley's just thrown lap shot to the ground behind the play, but it's been paid behind. That's their 4th for the quarter.
They don't make it easy for their forwards, do they? The kicks aren't to their right side or anything like that. They're always under pressure and down at their ankles.
That's their 4th behind for the quarter, Beaconsfield. They go to 6-7-43. 19 points behind Cranbourne at 9-8-62. As Bass goes long looking for Wen. Taking the front position there was Brad Humphrey. Can't see what's going on. I'm getting frustrated. The ball's going to be thrown in, is it?
No, I think it's a free kick.
That's Cranbourne with the football. It's Morrish who goes long. Ball falls short. Davey has a front position. Couldn't mark. Barker jumps to collect the football. Spills out the Cavlot. Ryan Davies in there. And goes Jake Bowd. And we're going to see the ball thrown up on the half-forward flank.
Yeah, Scotty Myers starting to wear thin now. His fitness is starting to tell.
Maruzic goes through. He's tackled there by Taylor Stoko. And the ball's going to be thrown up. We've got a text coming through there, do we, Lockie?
Yeah, we got a text. Don't know who it is, but put the radio on. Great call so far, and I completely agree with that one.
0424038977. As getting slung there was Brad Humphrey. Cutting it off for Cranbourne was Bunteen. He kicks it long. Takes the front position. Getting hit hard there by Big Pipes Gardner. You talk about 85 kilos of muscle just going straight into your back. And Bowd just goes, wishes I spent more time at the gym. Wow,
he got sandwiched.
He has just been crunched. Been run over by the Gardner tank. Rob Gardner will be happy with that. Yeah. Look, even Barker's just clapped Gardner. He's really hurt Bowd. So the ball's going to be thrown up. Wen was being held on to there by Meyer. Will have to be a free kick. Meyer's getting frustrated. He's going red. When he goes red, he does something silly, Scotty Meyer. So Wen will take the free kick. Spearing pass there to Gardner. He's got it again. That time he couldn't knock him over though. So Gardner goes short. Finds Marusic at centre half forward. He can go right across the ground to Bauer. Decides to go long into the pocket. Holt's going back. Walker was there. Gets thrown off the football. Holt won't be happy with that, but the free kick was there.
Yeah, it was there. Just a big chop of the arms. And you know when your arms are being chopped when Mark Holt hits you. But yeah, Bauer was cleaned up by Gardner twice. Kavlot's letting him know all about it too.
So Walker goes short to Tyler Stoko, a man who's been everywhere but really achieved nothing so far today, Taylor Stoko.
They don't know where to go now, do they?
Goes short, finds Bethio.
Leah looks on.
Off one step, pops it on the head of Matt Humphrey. Bertrand couldn't mark, clean bolts Marusic. Going to be a foot race. Wanting it more though was Bertrand. Dove in under Damien Johnson. Now they do battle. Looks like Johnson's sitting on Bertrand's head, but the umpire will go in and throw it up.
Yeah, it's everyone's tired now, aren't they? Just look at the feet. Damien Johnson's getting out of the pack going, what do I have to do?
11 minutes gone of this final term. It's 9-8-62. Cranbourne leading Beaconsfield 6-7-43. Dwyer tries to find McMillan by hand, couldn't do so. Tyler Stoko's working overtime. He gets brought to ground and the ball's going to be thrown up.
It's these handballs by Beaconsfield, continue little 5-metre handballs, over-possessing the ball, and then it just forms a contest, and Cranbourne are winning those contests.
They've had enough of the football today, Beaconsfield. They just haven't made the right decisions, Jared. Meyer taps it down to Tyler Stoker, gets ripped off the footballs, he's gone to kick it. Not there, I thought it was. No foot on the ball. Barker takes the free kick on centre wing, goes long. Holt just jumps over the top of Trent Stoko. They make a huge contested mark, wheels around, goes into the pocket. Where's Pipes Gardner? Oh, he's at the back. Oh, that was a bit of showmanship there by Burr. Pretended to go for the mark, and the ball's floated over the pack and landed in the chest of Nathan Gardner, who will line up for a shot on goal. 45 metres out on a 45-degree angle. You're standing right behind this one, Lockie.
Yeah, no, we got Gardner here, a slight angle, probably about 35 degrees. Probably be kicking from about 20, I'd say. Man of the mark, just darting around and playing that game, kick it over my head.
Good afternoon to Jimmy Hines. You heard Jinder and decided to jump on and listen to see what we're talking about. Gardner's lining up for goal number 4, and this will be the first nail in Beaconsfield's coffin. If he can kick straight, Gardner comes in. Oh, the man with big arms has brought in his 4th. It's kicked 2 in this last term for Cranbourne, and they go to 10-8-68, leading Beaconsfield 6-7-43, their biggest lead of the afternoon at 25 points, and we have gone 13 minutes of this final term.
Yeah, and you saw McMillan try to come through the contest there and spoil the ball. If you're going to do that, you've got to actually connect the ball. He just had a fresh area and allowed Pipes Gardner to take a nice chest mark, and that was a beautiful kick too. It never looked like missing once it hit the boot.
So now Wen's come back on, but not in time to go into the ruck. Wen, don't run into the centre square. He's run in, but he made it just in time as Meyer's gone, big punch to Valor, was there to Rove, by hand to Bauer, comes back onto his favourite side. Bauer broke the tackle of Johnson, then has to retreat to Bertrand, who finds Wen. Big Red kicks it up from centre half back to centre half forward, looking for Tom Marks. He's tackled strongly there by Bowd. Kavlot goes in over the top. Verby collects off one step, kicks it high up and under. Going back with the flight of the football there was Daniel Johnson. Dropping the mark though was Wen. Close to the boundary line. The ball's still in the field of play. Get out of the way, Lockie, before I just upend you. As Verby tries to go through, breaks a tackle, squaring past the Meyer, wheels around on the right, boots a mongrel kick forward. Soccering off the ground there was Wapshot, and taking the mark was Langley. Is that not required distance? No. The umpire's called play on as Bertrand's applied the tackle, and the ball's going to be thrown up.
You see a few passes, a bit shorter than that one, so maybe it was a drop kick.
The tree specialist, Sam Bailey's now watching the broadcast as well. Cheerio to you, Sam. Close to the boundary line. Over the pack of the Cranbourne faithful in front of me. I'm nearly mounting the table just to see. It's gone out of bounds. It's 25 points to margin. We have gone 14 minutes of this final term. You're listening to KC Radio 97.7 FM. We're enjoying the feed through Facebook thanks to Red Onion. The ball gets tapped down. Langley's there. Applies a tackle on Brandon Osborne. Glenn Osborne didn't play today, Jared. I've just noticed after all this time, and the ball's going to be thrown up 25 metres out directly in front of Beaconsfield's attacking goal. Wen taps it down. Bauer goes through. Tackle applied there by Tyler Stoko.
We've got a couple of text messages in. We got Peabody, he wants to know where's the prelim next week.
Here.
It'd be here. And the other question is, thanks for the Empire shout out before. Also, who's that bloke with the foreign accent? Absolutely loving his special comments. Seems to know his stuff.
Are you texting yourself?
That's Craig from Empire.
Craig from Empire.
So cheers, Craig. I appreciate that.
Well, how about a few beers of the function room made available for us next week, Craig from Empire? And we'll get plenty of foreign accents down there if you like. Close to the boundary line. The ball stays in the field of play. Just know the umpire will go in and throw it up. 25 points the margin. Halfway through this final term. We could do with some money, Empire. So KC Radio, PO Box 977 in Cranbourne. We'd love a check from you, Craig. We've pumped you up all season. Inside defensive 50. Bird just slaps it towards Bauer. Tries to come through. Bird goes in, leaves the ball behind. Bauer's in there. Devon Smith, Tyler Stoko. And the ball's going to be thrown up. Tyler Stoko has made so many contests today for Beaconsfield. He has been in and under
all the time, but just he's not getting much support when he gets the ball out.
Wen taps it down. Coming through now is Vella. Couldn't trap it with the first attempt. Taps it to himself. Alir was holding on. Vella was good enough to get the hand pass to Gardner. Gardner kicks forward. Going back with the flight of the football. There was Holt. Oh, Welsh. He saw some daylight and closed his eyes. He didn't want Holt near him. It goes off his hands and out of bounds.
You see that turtle?
Comments from the crowd.
I think that was Damien Whitnell, who was just providing some special comments here, doing some marine viewing of turtles. It was. Happy Father's Day to Damien and his description of turtles as Davey breaks through. It's Axel, is it? Axel's just joining the commentary team right in front of me. I apologise. Back at home as Gardner goes through, breaks open the pack. The ball spills to Bauer. And Gardner's been penalised for holding the footy.
Getting plenty of advice from the balcony now.
Dwyer takes the free kick out towards Daniel Johnson. Couldn't mark. Loose football as when a tired Wen was happy to see that ball go over the boundary line.
Good on Axel for wishing Kane a very happy Father's Day.
Yeah, don't know why.
Does he know something we don't?
Maybe Craig from Empire can fill us in. Meyer taps it towards the back. Barker was there. He was wrapped up in a strong tackle by Dwyer, and the ball's going to be thrown up right in front of the 97.7 FM broadcast position.
And Craig's just given us a text back. He says, we don't do checks, but we're good for a few drink cards. Great work, fellas.
There we go. All right, so we'll hit you up on Saturday night. Sorry, Jared, you can't come. The kick out there. Oh, look at Bromley. He's hit the pack running. Hand pass up towards Meyer. Loose football, so Bromley just basically hand pass it to himself, and that kick goes off the side of the boot. Is that on the full?
Well, not sure.
No, it's a throw in.
Players are appealing foot.
It's going to be a throw in.
Again, that's that usefulness. Just getting
time left. Well, we've gone about 16 minutes of this final term. We've seen 2 goals to 4 behinds in favour of Cranbourne, so I wouldn't expect this quarter to go as long as what we saw in the third. Axel's just showing some footy skills in front of us. You can't see it at home, so it's a bit irrelevant. The ball comes out to Devon Smith. There's still some life left in Beaconsfield as Devon Smith has kicked a goal against the momentum of play, and they go to 7-7-49. Trailing Cranbourne 10-8-68. This quarter's gone 19 minutes of the final term.
2 clearing handballs out of that boundary thrown from Beaconsfield, but they were good 10-metre handballs to Devon Smith, who was running into an open goal, and they kicked it beautifully to, as you said, breathe some life into the game.
Well, there's been big passages of this game where Beaconsfield haven't scored. It was over a quarter between the first quarter and the second, and it's the same between the third and the fourth. So big passages of play where Beaconsfield haven't had to apply any scoreboard pressure, but they're still in the game.
They seem to get 2 or 3 in a row though, and then they go missing again.
19 points the margin as Meyer taps it there. Vella taps it to the back, but cutting it off was Damien Johnson. Short little hand pass to Brad Humphrey. Kick inside forward 50. Langley couldn't mark. The ball spills to Devon Smith. Breaks a tackle of Brandon Osborne. Gets around Bass, but Vella's tackled him and brought him to the ground. That's holding the football once, twice. He wasn't lucky the third time as Vella brings Devon Smith to the ground and has been rewarded with holding the footy. So,
no
bit of a cramp.
No talk to him either.
Well, you took 3 on. You're doing pretty well. As Vella finds Ryan Davey, the veteran, pops it over the top to another premiership veteran in Stuart Morris. They lead by 19 points, which you think would be at enough, but if Beaconsfield can score quickly, which they've shown this afternoon, they might be able to pull off an upset. Long kick towards Wen, couldn't mark on the outer side. Going through there was Barker. It was actually Allison, I think it was. Still a bit of feeling out there on that outer side. and the ball's going to be thrown up. Maruzic coming back on there for Cranbourne. Vella getting a rest after that big tackle on, the big tackle on Devon Smith.
Yeah, they're not leaving anything to spare, these players, are they? They know that's it for one of them.
Well, the winner will take on Narre Warren next week, back here at 2-mark reserve.
We're going to stay here.
No.
Going to think about that?
No. Definitely not, Jared. The ball's going to be thrown up on centre wing on the outer side. Stop looking at me. Meyer taps it down. The clearing kick there, long kick coming from Verby. Matt Humphreys second into the contest, spoils Bertrand, but he couldn't keep it in the field of play on the outer side as it goes out of bounds.
There's a bit of a lull just gone over the crowd now, hasn't it? Just everything just stopped. I think it goes with Cranbourne. They get hold of the ball and now they're quite happy just to hold on to it for a couple of minutes.
Now, Graham McLeese has asked us for the reserve grade score. Good question. We had it written down somewhere. We'll get you that when we can. I've got it here. The reserve grade score was Cranbourne 8-12-60, defeating Beaconsfield 3-6-24, and the under-19s was Narre Warren 11-7-73, defeating Pakenham 6-2-38. Back with the play here. That's Beaconsfield with the numbers around the contest, so that's a tough footy. Dodsworth, well, they've kept it in Beaconsfield. They moved it all the way inside forward 50, where Hugo gets onto the football, but he was slung with a strong tackle from Dwyer. Couldn't dispose of the football. Goes out of bounds. The ball to be thrown in. 35 metres around from Beaconsfield's attacking end. Yes, Jared?
Yeah, they've just pushed it virtually from centre wing into their forward pocket, haven't they? No clear disposal.
When tapped it down to be Hugo, couldn't get a kick away. Getting rid of the ground there was Bertrand. The ball just bobbles out and goes out of bounds.
Yeah, that seems to be their mantra, doesn't it? Just push it down, push it down. If we can get a clear kick, we can. If not, we'll just push it through, push it along the ground.
Throw in. Matt Humphrey doing the ruck work there. Tap, tap, tap. Damien Johnson couldn't collect it. Maruzic on his hands and knees. The ball spills out the back. You got something in your hand there,
we just got a bit of constructive criticism. We want to hear about the football, not hear about you Empire. They want to hear about Empire. So
okay.
Just some constructive criticism there.
That's all right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Spend $10 and come and watch it yourself. You tight bugger. The ball gets thrown in. Maruzic couldn't keep it in and it goes out of bounds.
It's $13 too.
$13. Well, at least you get a record.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. The food's good in Pakenham. Jeez, quite easy. Keyboard warriors, hey?
Yeah, I know. Tell us the spots to eat at.
Yeah, Meyer taps it down to Taylor Joyce, gets the hand pass there to Matt Humphrey, who finds Devon Smith off one step. He's kicked it through, lucky to even bring up a behind. Must be a bit of Beaconsfield supporter. 7-8-50, trailing Cranbourne by 18 points, 10-8-68. We have gone 21 minutes off this final term on 97.7 FM.
Well,
it's funny because that same person told us that it was a great call.
Not for Beaconsfield, lack of opportunities, is it? They've had, 7 shots on goal?
This
6.
quarter?
Yeah, just this quarter. 6,
yeah.
Yeah, 5 behinds, 1 goal. Could be totally different. And the long kick in by Bass finds Ryan Davey. He just steps up, doesn't he, the 34-year-old?
A former insurance player of the year, player of the finals.
Player of the final series, yep, checkers Davey. Well, Cranbourne have put themselves under some pressure here. Could be turned over on the half-forward flank. They've managed to get up towards centre wing. As the kick-out goes towards Wen, who couldn't mark it. The ball clean bolts him. Goes to Tom Marks. Goes for Banana. Coming up to meet it there was Holt. Traps it well, the big fella. The kick around the body, going back with the fly to the football. Gardner. Has he been held onto by Bethia?
There we go.
To Nunn, and this will be all she wrote. Nunn runs into the open goal and kicks his first. As they start to celebrate now, the Cranbourne supporters. That's their 3rd goal of this final term. And a true opportunist goal. Oh, it's all over. Don't worry, it's all over now. We have gone 20 minutes of this final term. That's their 3rd goal. Nunn's first. They go to 11-8-74. 24 points the margin in favour of Beaconsfield, 7-8-50.
Just a quick update there on from Peabody regarding the VFL at the moment. The Bombers are up by 23 versus Collingwood. So I don't know what point of the game they're at, but that's the update.
Thanks, Peabody. He's been an avid listener all year when he's had the chance. And
is he the hot dog man?
Yeah, he's the hot dog man. He sent us another one as well. But
another picture? Yeah.
He just mind that
hot dog porn he loves, Peabody. Meyer floats in over the top, taps it down. Maruzic. Oh, that's in his back. Has to be. He was on the ground and just diving over the top was Damien Johnson, but the umpire was blindsided and it wasn't paid. It was actually Daniel who was the offending midfielder. The ball gets thrown up. Meyer just drifts in over the top, taps it down to Daniel Johnson. He's been tackled strongly by Vella.
He's played a good game today, Vella.
He's done
been
what was
everywhere.
required,
Yep.
and it's been supreme when it has been. The ball gets thrown up. Allison crashes into Meyer. Meyer gets a punch as long as he could kick it. Diving on the top of there was Buntini. Get one in the back, no free kick paid. The ball spills to Taylor Stoko. From 55 he goes long looking for Joyce. He's used everything but couldn't mark it. Brought to ground by Wapshot. He's still working hard there to mow it. Wapshot's in there at the bottom of the pack. You wouldn't want to meet these two at the bottom of the pack, would you? Taylor Joyce and Brandon Wapshot. And they're as hard as a cat's head. And they're still going at it, those two. The ball gets thrown up. Over the top is Allison. Big pack of players around the football. Close to the boundary line. Verby breaks one. Couldn't break the second. Gets his kick away. Corey Allison decides just to tap that through for a behind rather than going for a mark. And the margin gets reduced down to 23 points. We have gone 25 minutes of this final term. You're listening to KC Radio 97.7 FM. We're enjoying the live feed through Red Onion, Sefdal and KC Radio Sports Facebook page as Bass brings it in with a long kick looking for Allison. Flying in from the side there was Damien Johnston. Close to the boundary line, the umpire puts his hand in the air. The ball's going to be thrown in.
Yeah, it's been a disciplined effort from Cranbourne's back line. They may have the numbers, but they still do the punching, the 1%ers, just to make sure they kill that ball.
And got an update there. Pines is leading Sorrento by 2 goals. Well, that will stick it up you, Sorrento, and your big mouths, wouldn't it? As the ball was on the half-forward flank. They're trying to get the ball out there, Cranbourne. They couldn't do so. Close to the boundary line. The ball needs to be thrown in once again.
Checkbook footy.
Billy Mack's just sitting there going, geez, are we going to push the button on Kane soon? He's going to get us kicked off the air. The ball's going to be thrown in. 23 points to margin deep into this final term. Wen and Meyer are going at it. The two big number 5s. Wen wins it at the back. Reading it best though was Dwyer. Can he finish it off with a nice goal? The ball's coming back from Dwyer. It was a touch on the goal line by Osborne. No.
Well
Dwyer's
done,
kicked his first goal of the afternoon, and that's Beaky's 8th. They go to 8-9-57, reducing the margin to 27 points, is it? No, 17 points. That was a nice goal, wasn't it, Jared?
It was well done by Langley too, not to give away that free kick, but to use enough body to make sure Osborne didn't get a fist to it.
I reckon it would have been close.
Oh yeah, it would have been ticky touch for it. You often see those paid, but no, he shepherded it too well, used his body well, and they're still down there all in the goal square. Just it must be a bit cold out there because they're very close. The Beaky forwards and Cranbourne defenders probably just talking that one through.
17 points to margin.
Workshopping it, as they say.
As the ball gets thrown up, comes back down. When copping one, some extra work there from Daniel Johnston. They're still pushing and shoving. McMillan's just given one to Vella. So throw up. Meyer goes with a big punch. It's gone 15 metres, bouncing football. A nice flick work there by Damien Johnson. Marusic was first onto it. He was tackled there by Dwyer. Marusic ducked his head to pick up the football and has earned the free kick. Not sure if it was there. Marusic goes out towards centre wing when Nunn's on a long lead in front of Ryan Bromley. Puts the football under his arm. Takes a bounce now. Comes back onto his right side. Long penetrating kick to centre half forward. Taking the front position there was Stoko, who's taken a nice mark in front of Tommy Marks. There's some funny stuff happening. Aaliyah has the mark on centre wing. He kicks it long now to centre half forward where Langley takes a front position, but getting the punch away there was Brandon Osborne as it's gone out of bounds.
Oh, Peabody just hit an absolute ripper of an image, so good work on that one. Did you get that one?
Got it.
No.
I don't know who Helen Keller is.
Helen Keller.
That's all right. Keep going with the footy.
We'll
explain
get
it
up to
later.
date with that one.
We might need to. The ball gets thrown in. When was he held on to? No free kick paid. You've been sacked, Lockie. You've given us nothing today, and we won't need you again next week.
I'll explain you that.
The ball said we won't need you next week.
Oh,
The ball's going to be thrown up. Wen and Meyer holding on to each other. Meyer taps it towards the back, slips out, kick forward there in the traffic was Beaconsfield, but bouncing football. Nunn still got plenty of pace to burn. He was double checked himself and went back and got crunched by Damien Johnson and also Ryan Bromley.
He ducked into the tackle,
and
Lockie.
He ducked, you reckon?
Yeah.
Turned back into play and then thought, oh no, I'm in trouble here.
So who's got the free kick? It's Damien Johnston.
To make the distance, we really
Well,
have
if he
to go
kicks
for
this,
it.
he will reduce the margin to 11 points, but we are deep into time on now. We've gone at least 29 minutes, so this could actually be the last play of the day. as Damien Johnston now, we're kicking from just inside 50, won't make the distance. Langley flies and has cleared the pack.
Well, the umpire's gone unrealistic attempt.
And getting the ride was Wen, so nothing's working for Langley in this final term. And Wen has taken the free kick. Verby's still arguing the point, but it will stay as we are at the moment, and it's 17 points.
Think about
and a 50-metre penalty's been paid.
He has been flying for those marks all day, so it's not like he's just done it out of the blue. So it's probably, I think, a bit stiff.
Well, was it a realistic attempt?
Yeah, he went for the mark. He wasn't going to shepherd the ball through.
So Wapshot, no. It's going to be Wen with the free kick. Coming up to meet the football, Brandon Osborne, one hand, couldn't complete the mark. That's really stopped now as Osborne clears defensive 50, goes up to centre wing. Roscoe takes the mark.
Really took the wind out of Beaconsfield sails.
So Cranbourne versus Narre Warren next week. Jared, your early thoughts as Roscoe finds Wen?
Good game, very good game. The loss of Troy Farr, one of their main tools, is going to hurt Cranbourne against the taller Narre Warren side.
Bass goes to Bunteen, still on centre wing.
Do we know how far away Boland is? Is he a look in?
No, he was walking around like a Terminator last week with some very high-tech equipment on his knee. As Bass has it on the half-back flank, long kick, or clashing the pack there was Holt. That was a nice contested mark by the train. He's got three players breaking for him. Vella decided not to fill the gap, hoping Hugo would run into it. Coming up to meet it there was Bethio. The ball spills to Corey Walker. Now Taylor Stoko has the wheel around back onto his favourite side. Sweeps the hand pass out towards Daniel Johnson. He just pops it into space for McMillan. Will take the mark. Ensuring their run now is Bowd. Hasn't he gone quiet since he got cleaned up by Gardner? And that was a display of his disappointing kick there as Bertrand cuts it off. He kicks it long. Bouncing football. Bethio put his hand up but couldn't collect it. Roscoe puts some pressure on. Gardner's come up to meet the footballer. Lear's there for Beaconsfield. So Gardner goes into the pocket where Tommy Marks will collect now. You've got plenty of pace to burn. Tommy Marks goes for a kick around the body. He's kicked the goal from the pocket, and that is the ice cream on the Cranbourne's cake. Has the siren gone?
No. Very close.
12-8-80. Go Cranbourne. Marks kicked his first. 30 minutes gone to this final term. They now lead by 23 points.
Yeah, a lot of car horns going off then to celebrate their advance into the preliminary final to take on Narre Warren, as you said.
So once again, for the 4 years of the Sefnal, the same three teams will compete after the second week of finals.
Yes, well, it's always been the same four, now it's down to the same three. So divisional football to liven up the competition is going to be healthy.
When against Maya taps it down to Daniel Johnston. Breaking through there for Cranbourne, for Beaconsfield was Dwyer. He was met pretty heavily by Maruzic. There's going to be some sore bodies out there this afternoon. The ball's going to be thrown up inside the centre square once again. Meyer taps it towards the back. He's now on top of the football with Wen side mounting him, and the ball's going to be thrown up inside the centre square. We have now gone 32 minutes off this final term. 23 points the margin in favour of Cranbourne. They're going to go through to their... How many preliminary finals in a row is it for
at least
Cranbourne?
4.
Yeah.
At least 4.
Well, there's been some that have made it straight through to the grand final as well. So they've definitely been one of the dominating forces of the Sefnal. Bass kicks it out to his best mate Bertrand, who goes short to centre wing where Roscoe takes the mark. Bowers put in a long lead. Coming up to meet him there was Bromley. That was a big collision of players on the outer side. Will it be advantage paid to Roscoe? Yes, it is. The umpire, no. Because the umpire's just given up. Do whatever you want.
Where's this siren going?
The free kick will come back now to Bower. There it is.
There we go.
The timekeepers was listening. Pines have beaten Sorrento. Essendon have beaten... looks like they're going to beat Collingwood in the VFL. Stuart Merrick's season's over as stats man. Beaconsfield have done well to get as far as they have during the season. Unfortunately, they couldn't meet Cranbourne on the big stage of finals. 4 straight goals in that final term to Cranbourne has seen them win by 23 points. Beaconsfield had enough opportunities. They kicked 2 goals, 6 in that final term. It had been 6 goals too, the margin would have been completely different.
Oh, certainly would have too, and crucial misses too. We had Taylor Joyce just that last shot before half time where you'd think that was just a soda for him, and he's actually hit the behind post on the full. Then you had Dodsworth in that last quarter running into an open goal. That's just the goals they should kick. From their experienced players, they need to kick for their opportunities. But I suppose you say the better team on the day one, especially down a key big man themselves.
It was a bit of an early injury too.
It was ruining those missed opportunities, wasn't it, with those shots on goal? I guess they had it there, and Cranbourne let them in, and then eventually Beaconsfield funneled on their own opinion there, and just couldn't get it done.
And giving away those crucial 50-metre penalties all in the second half as well. They had momentum in that third quarter, then Verby's got a bit lippy and a bit upset.